Just waking up from a nice dream. Bitcoin pumping on a live stream. Smile shine brighter than a high beam. Ever seen live trading on a widescreen? Bitcoin showing you the steps to own it. We got the alpha, I bet you want it. I'm having fun, send a lecture on it. Randy, put a little extra on it.
It's mutable and decentralized. No censorship or hard cap supply. It's open source and we classify the blockchain secure, and that's exactly why. It's hard money with a new plan. It bounced a lot like this new jam. If Bitcoin dipped, then we ain't gon' trip. I'ma be bullish on you, fam.
I'm a Bitcoin bestie. You gotta love it. 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 I'm a Bitcoin bestie. You gotta love it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Zest. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, here today on a Thursday, which could be one of the most pivotal days in crypto regulation history, as the Clarity Act is getting voted on in less than 1 hour. It is currently 9:52 a.m. Eastern. The vote is at 10:30. Usually we're still live. I'm going to see if I can find a live stream, and maybe we could go check in on it and tune in. We do have a lot of news. Kevin Warsh is the Fed chair. We're going to dive into that. So we have a lot of regulatory stuff we're going to chat about today. We do have Blockchain Academy brought to you by Uphold. We're going to discuss how you can buy your Bitcoin and send it to your wallet. And I'm going to actually show you a slide that I'm going to use in my slideshow when I go to my former high school next week to teach a Bitcoin 101. Also, we got Bitcoin ETF news, we got consensus news, we got Ledger and their IPO. Is that happening? Charles Schwab news as well. So if you guys are ready for the zest, the news, the education, please smash a like, subscribe to the channel, share this out with friends. Again, this is a very, very pivotal day. It's the markup vote, not the final vote. We'll see if it goes through. I'm very interested to see if this is going to be what it is. I really just don't like it. But we're going to dive into it anyway. We have no choice. We have to report news. So again, make sure you guys say good morning to me as you say good morning. Say good morning to me as you check out our amazing sponsors of the show, including Cake Wallet, Market Cipher. Use code ZESTY for 15% off and then go up to the moon with Uphold. Again, Blockchain Academy is going to come through, and we're going to see if we can do that before the Clarity Act vote, and we're going to tune into that. Michael, good morning. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Silver Days, good morning. Flat Earth, Mike Volmer, Doge Bull, Shadow is here. Backup, I see. Mark Smithson. I freaking can't with this guy's comments. I can't. David Bulls has all of his emojis. Love it. John Legend, good morning. Peace, good morning. One House is here. As always, thank you to Black Hat. We got Treehouse Pancakes. I freaking love that username. That is fire. Good morning. Nice to see you. Boomdock Saint. It's his mom's birthday. Happy birthday to your mom. Rob C. Good morning. We have Joe Harvey, Paco. Good morning. Ian says Kevin needs to wash out the corruption at the Fed. That was good. I gotta give that to you. That was good. I like that. I freaking like that. Who else is here? I lost my spot. Jesse, we got Elric, Rob C. Ian said good morning. Good morning, Ian. Mike Mazzone and Yukio are on X. Pieces on multiple platforms. Haven, good morning. Oh, jeez, I can't. You guys are really crazy in these comments today. Kazai, good morning. I see you're on X. Tran XVG. Is this Tran from Twitter? Is this the one I always say? Is this the guy I always say good morning to? Is this Tran actually? Let me know. Or is this another Tran? Do we have multiple Trans in the community? Oregon, good morning. I try to acknowledge everyone. I try to know who everyone is. John White, good morning. Dr. Ajay, good morning to you. Terry B is here as well. Harold Oliver, good morning on X. I see you. Okay. All right, pop off, guys. We're doing good today. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. guys, smash the like, subscribe, share. We do see we are popping off on YouTube, guys. Let's get 100 likes off the bat. We basically have 100 people here on YouTube, so let's pump it up. We're going to get into the Clarity Act in just a little bit, but of course, you guys know we're going over the market recap first. We do have a build on. I don't know what's been going on with this, but the pump and dump has been freaking real. The other day, we were all the way up here at like 76 cents, and then we went into the trenches of 41, and now we're back at like 50-something cents. It's just getting a little bit wild there. So I want to know if you guys own it. Canton is also one of our bigger gainers today, being that this is a banker coin, and the banks are definitely pumping their own bags today due to the Clarity Act as well. If you guys are on TikTok or anywhere else that is not YouTube, please go to YouTube, guys. We do have a subscriber goal. We always have a goal of 150 likes, 150 live viewers, but we do have a subscriber goal today of 25,500. Let's get 23 more subscribers here. We are trying to pop off, get after it, and do good. Tran, there he is. So yeah, it's me. Oh, I see you, bro. Hi. So good to see you. Tony Trump is here. Craig Todd, good morning. Haven says, if Randy doesn't quit, then I won't quit. Is that the sentiment? I didn't know that was the sentiment today. All right, let's continue. We're going to get into Bitcoin price again. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is a very important day in crypto history. Oh, you think my hair looks good? I think it looks a little messy today, but thank you. I appreciate it. The humidity is kicking down here in Florida as Bitcoin is at $79,936. Again, we were teeter-tottering around the 200-day SMA. Let me go to my other chart real quick. We are up 0.82%. We do want to test that 200-day SMA and have a beautiful jet set ride to 93.94K, which is this orange line right here. I think 93K is a very important level to watch. Again, you have seen it in the past, even extend this line out a little bit, where if we were holding around this 94K, we were able to push at least to 106, and especially 101K is a very important level too. That's a next level of resistance. So if we hold support at 93K, I'm looking up at 101, but again, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves because we did even pass the 200-day SMA at least for a week. Like, I like to pass the 200-day SMA for at least a week. That's when my whole heart feels very warm and fluttery and we pop off. However, if we continue to reject this level that the 200-day SMA is at, which is $82,000, I am looking to hold support again at 76K. I think that's a very important level to watch. It's very pivotal in our Bitcoin journey. If we really reject harshly 76K, I ultimately look down at 60. Of course, we have levels in between that we could watch, but for some reason, 60K just sits in my brain. I can't explain it. We do have a red dot printed that has confirmed and played out essentially on the momentum being, again, Bitcoin price hasn't really moved. It hasn't had the biggest impact in the world, especially because the VWAP didn't continue to dump as harshly as it was. You could see it low-key chilled out a little bit. Money flow is ticking down just a tiny bit as well. Look at the RSI, guys. This was the pullback of the lifetime. Call me crazy. Call me absolutely freaking bazookas. I don't know what I just said. Get it? I don't know what I just said, but I felt it. I felt it, so I said it. I felt it, so I said it. But if you look at this RSI, look at how perfectly it pumped and then pulled all the way back down. This is the ultimate setup. We've seen it in the past. Again, you go up. You start here, let's say. Up, right back down. Go up, come right back down. This is so healthy. This is so healthy. So I'm hoping we hold the RSI where we're at. And we have so much room. Again, we're only at 79K. We are primed with this RSI. The only thing that could stop us now is the 200-day SMA just whacking us in the face and liquidating everyone and their mother when it goes below 76K. That is the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing I can think of. But I'm bullish. I'm freaking bullish. I'm bullish on Bitcoin no matter what. Clarity Act or not. Clarity is smoke and mirrors. It's not clear whatsoever. It's a banking bill, and I don't support it. Just so we can understand. It's not going to help nobody except the banks and their egos. Now, we do have spot ETFs. What's happening with Bitcoin ETFs? I'm telling you right now, keep calm, huddle on. These headlines mean absolutely nothing with the ETFs, but they try to implant things in your brain. Well, here's the tea. Breaking news headlines. We're starting it. Sip your coffees. Let's go. Did you sip your coffee? You better be sipping it right now. Well, everybody, they're trying to fool us right now. They're trying to make you feel like we should be bearish on Bitcoin because the way they worded this headline was just blasphemous. Instead of saying like there were major outflows or whatever, which isn't major because we've seen worse on every side, whether the ups, the downs, the in-betweens. Yet the way they worded this is psychological, right? This is psychological warfare. Looking at Bitcoin, we know she's in a great spot. This is a great point for Bitcoin to be the RSI. Everything looks primed for a really nice move, potentially, right? Not financial advice, never financial advice. But the fact that they worded this like, oh, Bitcoin investors yanked $635 million from ETFs in a day. Come on, stop with the freaking yada yada. This is just psychological warfare. It means nothing. The 11 US spot Bitcoin ETFs pulled in $3.29 billion in investor money through March and April are now leaking funds, and sizable ones at that. Come on, you're telling me 600 million impacts this? It freaking does not. It does not. Oh, stop it. And the word yanked is just like making people like worried. Oh my gosh, no, everyone's dumping. I gotta go freaking jump off a trampoline or something to feel something. Like, no, this is not a big deal. And I feel like everyone's just making it bigger than it is. Someone's fudding me right now. I don't give financial advice. I don't tell people when to buy and sell. Never that. But on Wednesday, investors yanked $635 million from the funds, the highest single day net outflow since January 29th. Oh my gosh. Sorry. It wasn't an isolated event, and over the past 5 trading days, ETFs have bled a total of $1.26 billion, pulling net total inflows since its debut in January 2024 down to $58.5 billion from $59.76 billion a week ago. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And despite all of these outflows from the ETFs, Bitcoin's fine. Guys, let's look at the freaking chart. Do we got to do this again? I guess we got to do it again because this is part of my job. I'm like your chart therapist. Look at this, guys. They're talking about in this article, oh my gosh, no way. Bitcoin, there's a mess through March and April. Oh my gosh, money coming in, money flowing out. Bitcoin has been the same price. Bitcoin has literally been like the same price since February. Let's look at February, guys. Around 63 to 69K. Oh, we teetered with 76, pulled back down to 65. Now we're just above 80K, guys. It does not matter. I'm stressing this to you. It does not matter what happens with the ETFs. Because again, if you were buying right here and you're still up 27% since February, so keep calm, hodl on, stop listening to these psychos that try to manipulate you into being all fearful because the institutions, oh my gosh, people sold Bitcoin ETFs, my life is over. No, guys, it's okay. I'm assuring you it's going to be okay. But do what you want with your money. I mean, if you're scared, then do whatever you got to do to make yourself happy. Just always have a bearish case scenario. You can DCA. Where can we see the vote live? I am, it's not live yet. The vote is at 10:30, and we'll find a stream closer to because they're not going to post the stream probably until, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes from now. So we'll get to it. Also, guys, again, please make sure you are subscribing to the channel. We have a lot of people here today. Thank you guys for subscribing. We do have a goal of 25,500 subscribers. We're 18 away. So please go ahead and smash the like, share this out. We have a goal of 150 likes. I don't know how many we have at the moment. Let me go check. We have 55 likes and over 150 people here. Please go ahead and smash the like. Let's share it out. Again, Clarity Act is getting voted on. We're going to go ahead and put that up. It's going, they're voting on it in like 20 something minutes. Let me see if I could see if there's any live streams up right now. Okay. I don't think there's anything. So it's going to be on the Senate Banking Committee website. So it says there's no video broadcast right now. Wait, what? Oh, no. That can't be right. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll get it. Nothing's going to pop up until probably the time of. So if anyone has it, though, go ahead and send it to me on Discord, in the chat, whatever. Okay. Ooh, you guys are feeling spicy about my poll. Is this live right now? Yes, I am live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is 10:05 a.m. Eastern. We're going to jump into certain IPOs, and then we're going to get into Blockchain Academy. We're going to talk about Kevin Warsh. We're going to talk about the Clarity Act as well. And so keep calm, huddle on. Let me get through my headline so I can tell you everything going on today. I do your research for you. Don't worry, friends. Let's talk about IPOs. People were thinking Ledger was going to have an IPO, the Ledger wallet. People also thought that Consensus, the parent company of MetaMask, was going public. Is this happening? Well, Ledger said no. Crypto wallet provider Ledger put their US IPO plans on hold due to market conditions. Crypto wallet provider Ledger put its plans to go public in the US on hold due to difficult market conditions, according to two people with knowledge of the matter. Ledger has not filed any draft S1 registration statement with the SEC. One of the people have said a confidential filing is typically the first formal step in an IPO process. The French crypto security firm has a number of options and could decide to raise capital privately, said the person who spoke, on condition of anonymity. So again, in January, there were reports that they were having an IPO. That they hired investment banks for their IPO that was valued around $4 billion. That included Goldman Sachs, Jefferies, Barclays. Were said to be advising on the offering, which could come as early as this year. But Ledger has not really went ahead and commented too much, but this is something that people were expecting that is not happening right now. Also, people are still holding back their IPO. So Kraken, we got Ledger, and also Ethereum app builder Consensus. Again, they are the parent company, the owners of MetaMask wallet, the little cute little fox that we will like. And they also delayed their IPO until fall. Can someone get rid of this guy in the chat? Why isn't he blocked already, guys? Like, where are my mods right now? This guy needs to go. This guy needs to go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Okay, where do you see the Clarity Act live? Guys, I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not live yet. The vote is in 20 minutes. Keep calm, hog along. Trust your girl out here. We're gonna find the live stream. There's no live streams yet. All right, let's talk about Consensus, parent company of MetaMask. Again, make sure you guys are smashing the like, subscribing, and sharing. Consensus, the ETH development firm led by Joe Lubin.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Eleanor says it will be live on the banking GOPX account at 10:30 ST.
See, that's what I thought. Thank you, Didge. Thank you, Didge. Senate Banking GOP. So the Banking GOP. Let me go pull that up so everyone doesn't have a freaking conniption over here. Banking GOP. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. Just so you know, besties, I do have this up. The thing is not live yet. The vote is not live yet. We will have it up. Do not worry. Keep calm, huddle along, pop off with us, and delete all of these inappropriate individuals that are coming into this chat. Thank you very much. David said, enjoying this. Hello from Scotland. Hello. Free Thinker said, let's go, like and subscribe. Yes, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. There's over 200 people here. We have a goal of at least 200 likes. So please make sure you are smashing the like, subscribe to the channel. Guys, we are live. For everyone new, we are live Monday through Friday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, covering daily crypto news. Next week, I will be on Fox News, and I will be teaching a Bitcoin 101 to a high school. So just so you know, we are all about education. I don't give you financial advice. I just want to read you headlines and do your research for you. Not that I should do your research for you. You should do research. But you know what I mean. I'm just trying to give you the headlines because a lot of people don't have time to do it, but I will do it for you. All right, let's talk about Charles Schwab. Yeah, Black Hat, I'm going to give you some words that we need to block. Siva said hello from Greece. Chip said hello from Korea. Hello, besties. If you guys are from a different country, even in the US, comment what country you're from. I would love to meet you guys. Thank you for being here. Charles Schwab, guys, everyone's been wondering what's happening with Charles Schwab. Are they going to let retail trade? Well, yes, apparently they are. For retail, this is very interesting. Charles Schwab, the brokerage giant that manages around $12 trillion in client assets, began the rollout of their spot crypto trading services for retail in the US. An initial group of clients can now trade Bitcoin and ETH on the Schwab crypto platform. And in July of last year, their CEO said the company planned to introduce crypto trading in the near future. And the Westlake, Texas headquartered firm already offers crypto investments through ETFs and futures trading. But this is what people are going to do. They're going to trade Bitcoin and ETH. And I really just wonder if the fees are going to be cheap. And if so, are they going to let you withdraw your Bitcoin to your wallet? Because I do not endorse a platform that you cannot take your funds off and be your own bank. This is the point. Self-custody, guys. Self-custody. Yesterday, guys, Kevin Warsh won the Senate confirmation to become the next Fed chair. This is absolutely major news, and I wanted to break this down for you guys. Apparently, Kevin Warsh is very pro-crypto. He's always spoken positively about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, so now he is locked in, and I just hope that they really go to bat for us like they said they would, and so it's a little bit iffy right now, but we'll see. We'll see. I want to see the fruit. I don't judge right off the bat. I want to see what work gets done here. Kevin Warsh, though, was confirmed yesterday as the Federal Reserve Chair, taking over the central bank at a time when Donnie T is pushing for lower interest rates, even as a fresh inflation data complicates this case for rate cuts. Again, we do see that inflation from the CPI, which I don't believe is real data anyway, was 3.8%, which was higher than expected and also the highest since May of 2023. So you could see that inflation's on a rally. It's on a rally. Now, in the most divisive vote ever for a Fed chair, Warsh, age 56, he won confirmation to take over Jerome Powell, who has served at the top leadership position since 2018 and whose term will expire on Friday. This was a 54-45 vote, very close, which is a month-long saga that began last summer and included an extensive search for Powell's successor. And the vote was almost completely along party lines, with only Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman crossing over to vote for Warsh, who became the 11th Fed chair of the modern banking era. So Powell is going to stay on at the Fed as he has 2 years left in his term as governor, but he said last month that he would remain at least until an investigation into the renovations at their headquarters is complete. And so this is quite wild. I don't know what they're going to do with that. What time is it? We're still good. Okay, guys. We have 269 people in here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Oh, we're popping off. Hi, everyone. Guys, please smash the like. We want to get at least 200 likes. There's almost 300 people here right now. The Clarity Act is getting voted on very, very soon. I am waiting on the live stream. Here's the proof. We are waiting on the live stream. We don't see anything yet. The vote happens in about 15-ish minutes. So keep calm, huddle on. We got a lot going on here. Mr. 1172 said, hi, Randy from Chicago. Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about really quick. We're going to go into Blockchain Academy by Uphold before we get into Clarity Act and what's happening with Clarity Act. Because, again, I want to line it up so we could talk about Clarity Act and then go ahead and dive into the news. People are feeling spicy about my poll. Where's the live stream for it? The live stream will be here. I will do the live stream. And it's going to be on the Senate Banking GOP X account. But we could do a live watch party here. But I will play the live stream for you. So keep calm, huddle on. I will play it for you. Okay. Let's go into Blockchain Academy by Uphold really quick before this live stream starts. Let's do it. Welcome to Blockchain Academy, brought to you by Uphold. Please visit uphold.com/Randy to get started. And again, this is a top exchange. And if you are an XRP fan, then you can earn up to 4% XRP back if you get their debit card. Also, you could get your paychecks on Uphold. Just put your paychecks on Uphold. You get your paycheck a few days in advance. Also, you do get like 3% XRP back on your paychecks. So we will go ahead and talk about something I think is really important, which is how do you buy Bitcoin? Again, this is for people that are really new. How do you buy Bitcoin and send it from your exchange to your wallet, which again is very important. So as you know, next week I am going to teach a high school about Bitcoin, a Bitcoin 101. And so this is one of the slides that I have. And so basically, hold on, excuse me. Okay, so why won't this work? Excuse me. Okay, so basically, guys, your steps are you go to an exchange, you sign up, you do your KYC, which on Uphold, it takes like 2 seconds to do. Then you could download your wallet. If you guys also need another resource, and if you want this all written out, then you could go ahead and go to my X account. If you go to X, you could go on my articles. And from there, there's a step-by-step guide. So you could download your exchange, you go through your KYC. Then you have to go and download your own Bitcoin wallet. So you could do that via Cake Wallet, cakewallet.com. You could go download their app. And so what you do is you go to your Bitcoin wallet, you write down your passwords or your recovery phrase, you go back to your exchange, and you do this. So basically you go, you press buy, and this is just an example video that I had from a few years ago. So you could do the same thing on Uphold. So you go on Uphold, you press Bitcoin, you enter the amount you want to buy. So such as $5. Again, this is just a tiny example because you could buy as low as $5 of Bitcoin. I'm going to move myself out of the way here. And then you confirm your purchase, and then it is done. So once you have your purchase, you go over to your wallet. As you can see here, look, you go right into your wallet. You copy your address. So what you have when you go have a Bitcoin wallet, you get a QR code, which represents this long string of letters and numbers. That is your Bitcoin address or your username, right? So you copy your username. As you can see, address copied. We're going to go back to our exchange. We're going to press this little transfer button, and then you press send a Bitcoin. From there, you enter the amount you want to send, which could be as little, again, as $5. From there, you could go and you paste your Bitcoin username or your Bitcoin address. And then you go ahead, you confirm that address. Again, I always recommend going to your wallet, confirming the first 3 letters, the back 3 letters of the address as well, just for safety reasons. Make sure you copied the whole thing. Then you could go ahead and press send. Once you press send, there you go. You confirm the transaction. You are all good. It's literally as simple as that. This will take a total of literally 5 minutes to sign up for the exchange, download your wallet, and do all of this. So once you have your withdrawal, you could even go back to your wallet and go see that it is at least processing or received based on how congested the Bitcoin network is that day. So how you buy Bitcoin, how you send it is quite simple. Again, you sign up for the exchange, you download your wallet, you write down all your usernames, your passwords, whatever you need to do. Go buy your crypto, go to your wallet, copy and paste your username, your address on the exchange, and you press send. Literally takes less than a minute. I just showed you less than a minute to do. So that is your Blockchain Academy by Uphold. So guys, again, please go to uphold.com/Randy. It is hands down one of the best exchanges in the world. Never mind the US. They are dominating in the US right now. So go check out Uphold, especially if you are XRP fans. They offer a lot of XRP rewards. And I think this is very important. Crypto newbie real question. I thought the Clarity Act would be considered pro-crypto. But by the way the yes, no, and the poll are framed, I guess it's up for debate. I do believe, in my personal opinion, it is up for debate. I don't really like a lot of the wording in the Clarity Act, and I think they're like, oh, we're just trying to compromise, bro. But for me, guys, it's not about the compromise. It's not about the wording. If the wording isn't right, no matter how you reframe the words, it still means the same thing. And right now, it's an ego contest between crypto and the banks. Why are we battling the crypto industry with the banks? This is supposed to be a Clarity Act, a clear set rule of the land for Bitcoin and crypto. How is it? It's not clear. It's also not for just crypto. The banking industry is like having their claws out. And so let's actually dive into this. We're going to dive into our spotlight, which is the Clarity Act. I'm going to break this down for you. I could go on my rant. We're going to rant. Let's do it. In my opinion, the Clarity Act is not clear. It's rather smoke and mirrors. And again, it goes back to how they're saying, oh, we need to get rid of criminal activity. Oh, criminal this, criminal that. Guys, we have people insider trading in Congress, and the same people that are allegedly insider trading in Congress are getting paid by, or in the Senate, right? They're getting paid by the banks, the American Bankers Association, to influence this Clarity Act. Why? My question is why? Who's a prime example? Put her emoji in the chat, Liz Warren. Put Liz Warren emojis. If you are not a member of this channel, if you like the spice, go become a member right now. Get your emojis. Put Liz Warren emoji, fire emoji in the chat. Because you know what? If you look back at you know what? I'm going to pull up receipts. People want receipts. Liz Warren, American Bankers Association, anti-self-custody legislation. So let me give you a little history real quick, because this just freaking sets me ablaze. It really freaking sets me ablaze. So basically, what she wanted to do, she created the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act in 2023 and 2024. So Liz Warren was paid by the American Bankers Association, again, American Bankers Association, to try and destroy crypto. She did this for years. This wasn't her only attempt, guys. This isn't her only attempt. Liz Warren allegedly is insider trading. So if we're going to focus on criminal activity and us being monitored, we should monitor them first. I think that's only right. Let's audit them. Audit the senators. Audit Liz Warren, who's also backing, or is backed also, by Jamie Dimon, who runs JP Morgan, right? And who did JP Morgan bank? Little Epi, right? Everyone knows who that is. You can write that in the comments. So we know what side she's on. We know what side she defends. And when she was actually called corrupt by John Deaton, she couldn't even say anything. Because again, she doesn't care about the women. She doesn't care about the children that were impacted by Mr. Epi over here. So besides that, you already know she's downright evil in her heart. Then you go and have the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2023 to 2024. Again, backed by the American Bankers Association. So what did this do? She wanted to target self-custody. Again, how I was just telling you to buy your Bitcoin from Uphold. Go put it in your Cake wallet and keep it safe. She doesn't want that. So this is bigger than what you think it is. Because if she's telling you she doesn't want you to own your crypto in your own wallet that the government can't touch, what would she also not like? You having cash in your own wallet, or keeping your money out of the banks and maybe in a safe. She doesn't want that. Why? Because if we have self-custodial wallets, if we have money that is sent peer-to-peer with no one to say yes or no, that means she can't censor you. And that also means the government can't disapprove of what you're buying and control what you're buying. And therefore, if they control what you're buying, they control how the economy works and where money goes and flows. So it ultimately melts up to not only the anti-self-custody unhosted wallets BS, where again, she's not going to like that you have cash because again, that's fungible private transactions. And again, I'm going to double down on the fact that privacy is a basic human right. Because you want privacy, that doesn't mean you're a criminal. Don't let them gaslight you. Never let them gaslight you. We have inalienable human rights of life, liberty, and property. Those are your inalienable human rights. Okay? So America likes to glaze over that part, the last part, and say life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Your pursuit of happiness is very important, babes. It's very, very important that you're a happy-go-lucky individual. But owning something is the most important thing. Because if you have land, if you have purchasing power, that means we can make decisions as we the people. Because again, remind yourself here that we are the ones that are in control. We, the people, the government works for us. We don't work for them. But what Liz Warren is trying to do, right, by introducing this anti-self-custodial framework, is she's taking away your ability to own your money. And then she went and backed central bank digital currencies, because now that she says, oh, you can't have your own wallet, now she's going to make you have a digital wallet tied to the banks. And if they don't like you, they don't like what you're doing, they don't like what you're saying, then you get iced out and they block you. So this is fraudster activity. All to say that she wants to monitor what we're doing, but we can't go and audit her and her alleged insider trading. It's dirty. It's disgusting. She is could be allegedly, based on this information, potential alleged information, she could be a criminal. So why are we letting criminals like her, allegedly, go and vote on things like the Clarity Act when she's clearly being paid for her opinions? This is the fundamental problem with lobbying in America. Lobbying should be somewhat outlawed. Why are we allowing people to get paid to influence? We're only going to pass this bill, even on a state level. It doesn't even matter if it's the Senate and this big conglomerate here. It's dirty. It's dirty, and it's corrupt. This is the definition of corruption. It's greed, and it's biblical that you cannot be fueled by your love of money. That is demonic in a few different ways. So we have these people that worship money, and they worship these people that do demonic things, and that's who's influencing this bill. Clarity Act is the banking ego test. The banks want no yield because, again, why don't they want yield at the banks? Why don't they want stable coins to have yield? I'll tell you right now, because if exchanges or even wallets, which we could decentralize, in a decentralized world, we have other options to earn yield and stake. But the reason why they don't want you to earn yield on exchanges is because then there's no bank deposits. So it's not just in the US, it's internationally. In Europe, they're freaking out right now because the banks straight up said, if you have stable coins and if you're keeping your money off of exchanges, out of the banks, that means that there is no low cost funding mechanism for borrowing and lending. What people really have to clock here is that the banking industry, again, it's an industry. Banks are businesses. Businesses fail. And the banks are failing. They're insolvent. They don't have money. Most of them are very over-leveraged. 2023, we saw the cascade of bank failures. Silicon Valley Bank, do we remember that? In 2023, people were lining up outside Silicon Valley Bank like it was 2008 Black Friday, and they were trying to buy a flat screen TV at Best Buy. That's what it was like. But what happened behind the scenes? Well, in 2023, we were covering on this show that the executives at Silicon Valley Bank actually pulled their money out of the bank before the collapse. But not only executives, it was also foreign entities like China allegedly had money in the bank, and the SVB guys go, hey, yo, whisper, take your money out the bank real quick. Take your money out of the bank because this thing's about to go down. So what happened? We, the retail, the people trying to feed their families, were left in the dust. Your magical banking app proves nothing. Just because it says you have X amount of dollars in your banking app does not mean it's real. It's not actually there. Because if you go to the banks and say, hey, let me pull out $20K right now in cash, they're not going to let you do it. You're going to have to sign papers, and they're going to have to tell you to come back a few times because they don't have the money. It's all a facade. And so the banks are fragile. Their business is fragile. They are not as big and scary as they tell you they are. I don't trust them. I never trusted the banks. I will never, ever trust the banks because they fund the corruption. They are the reason for corruption. And if you go ahead and watch how the money flows, and again, I could pull out the whiteboard and explain how important it is that you know where the money comes from and who's actually influencing it. It's These demonic people that are rules for thee, but not for me. Oh, central banks are like CBDC central, but not for the executives, not for royalty, not for the 0.01%, definitely not for politicians. They get to go and buy as much as they want, traffic whatever they want, allegedly. And they also go ahead and have their private jets. So while they tell us with CBDCs, oh, your carbon footprint's too big, you can only take one flight a year. Oh, you're having a cookout with your family, 3 steaks allowed because your carbon footprint's too big.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
500 plus people watching. We need
shoot.
at least 300 likes by now. Smash the like mooks.
I
Thumbs up
concur.
emoji.
I concur. Thank you, Jesse. I had no idea there were over 500 people here. Bless your heart. Good morning, everybody. I just flipped out, and this is why I don't like what's going on with the banks. They are hucksters. Wait, what?
Hucksters, fraudsters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes.
The ghost of Gary Gensler. The ghost of Gary Gensler. Good morning, besties. Let's go check in on this live stream. It is 10:30. Where is the Clarity Act? Oh, there it is. Hold on. Hold on. All right, guys. So this is live, the Senate committee hearing. We do have the Clarity Act. Let's keep calm. Let's huddle on. And we are going to keep watch of this live stream. This is the Clarity Act, guys. This is going to be a vote. We'll see if it passes. We'll see if it passes. Okay. So what do you think? Do you want the Clarity Act to pass? 1 or yes emoji, 2 or no emoji. Do you want the Clarity Act to pass? If you're holding your money in the bank, you're not letting it work for you. I could agree with that too. It's honestly just, it's annoying. It is pure deception. And I don't enjoy deception. I'll tell you that right now. I don't enjoy deception. All right, hold on. We got Liz Warren in the bright blue, huckster fraudster right here.
To be here this morning, I call the committee to order and move to executive session. Any members who may wish to speak on the bill can do so after votes. Amendments will be called up in order of seniority, alternating between the majority and the minority. Senators will be permitted to speak on their amendment prior to voting on them for up to, but not to exceed 2 minutes. We will begin with opening statements. Today is an important day, not just for this committee, but for the country. For years, the digital frontier was trapped in a regulatory gray zone. Developers, entrepreneurs, and investors were left with uncertainty. They faced confusion in enforcement actions when, instead, the government should have been crafting clear rules
Bitcoin's
of the road.
pumping, guys.
Those hurdles drove innovation overseas, left Americans exposed, and made it harder for law enforcement to do their job. Today, we change that. The bill we are marking up achieves 3 simple goals. Number 1, protecting consumers, keeping innovation here at home, and safeguarding U.S. national security. Those are not partisan goals. They are American priorities. Protecting consumers means making sure everyday people come first. It means clear disclosures, safeguards against fraud, and rules that keep markets open, fair, and efficient. It means that if someone in South Carolina invests in digital assets, they are protected by a framework with real, enforceable legal standards. This bill gives Americans confidence that the system works for them, not against them.
Okay, sure, bro.
Keeping innovation here at home means giving American builders, entrepreneurs, and businesses the clarity and certainty to do what they do best. Until today, outdated rules, unpredictable enforcement, and outright hostility have forced far too many American companies overseas. That cost us jobs, investment, and leadership. This bill says that the future of finance should be built in America, under American laws, and with American values. Safeguarding our national security means closing the doors that criminals, terrorists, and hostile regimes have tried to exploit. This bill strengthens anti-money laundering and sanctions rules and gives law enforcement better tools to go after bad actors. These tools make it harder to hide and easier to enforce the law. None of this happened overnight. It happened because members on both sides of the aisle chose to sit down, listen, and work. We've had months of good faith negotiations.
Smash the like, everyone. Smash the like,
Republicans
please.
did not
There's over
get
1,000 people
everything
here.
we wanted. But we made real progress with our Democrat colleagues. And this bill, and ultimately, and more importantly, the American people, will be better off because of it. This legislation does not take sides between traditional finance and new technology, or Republicans and Democrats. It takes the side of everyday Americans. It brings digital assets out of the shadows and into a system that is safer, fairer, and more transparent. This is what good governance looks like. Today, we take a step forward together to protect investors, grow our economy, and keep America leading the world. I'm proud of this committee for doing the work, and I look forward to moving this bill forward. I now recognize Ranking Member Warren for opening comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Right now, American families all across this country are struggling.
Shut
The cost
up.
of groceries
Oh, I
is
hate
up.
her.
The cost of utilities is up. The cost of health care is up. We could be working right now on changes in the law that would help bring down prices and help unrig our economy. You know, we could be working on capping credit card interest rates. Every day that we fail to deliver, families are charged an extra $368 million
Hucksters,
in interest.
fraudsters,
We could be preventing big
scam
banks from
artists.
saddling customers with overdraft fees. Every year that we fail to deliver, families could be paying up to $5 billion a year that they otherwise would be able to keep. We could be stopping rampant fraud and theft on payment platforms. Our failure to deliver here means that Americans are paying hundreds of billions of dollars after getting tricked and trapped. But instead of that, we're spending our time working on a bill written by the crypto industry for the crypto industry.
Hucksters,
Nothing
fraudsters.
made it into this bill that wasn't approved by the crypto industry. And why? Why are we working on this? According to a survey by crypto news outlet CoinDesk, quote, crypto is at the bottom of U.S. voters' priority heading into elections. Just 1% of respondents rank crypto as their top concern. Look, our job is to serve the American people. Our job is not to advance a pro-industry crypto bill that will put American consumers, American investors, and our national security and our financial system at risk.
Oh, shut
Our
up,
job
bro.
is
Shut
not
up.
to
I
advance
can't.
a pro-industry crypto bill that will grease the skids for the President of the United States.
Are you freaking
crypto
kidding me, bro?
grift,
Are you
while
freaking
tens
kidding
of
me?
Millions of Americans can't afford the basics. Many members of this committee have underscored the importance of getting this bill right.
She's stressing me out,
Despite
y'all. She's stressing me
multiple
out.
Calls for a public hearing on this bill, calls from Senator Reid, Senator Kennedy, Senator Van Hollen, Senator Smith. We have never had a single hearing on this bill.
Oh, my
And
freaking
today,
word.
Mr. Chairman, you are shutting down members of this committee who have amendments to strengthen this bill. You ruled out more than a dozen amendments because of, quote, procedural requirements. And take a look at what got ruled out.
Miss Warren, there's a reason
This
she ain't
includes
married,
a
fam.
fix
There's a reason she ain't
requested
married.
by the National Sheriff's Association to close a massive loophole in the current bill that would make it harder for law enforcement officials to go after cartels and criminals using decentralized platforms to launder money. So the sheriff's concerns.
You
have just been
insider
cut out.
trade, allegedly.
This
What are you
includes a
talking
fix from
about?
community banks to stop a significant flight of deposits out of the banking system that will hurt small businesses and communities across the country. An amendment to help community banks. We won't even get a hearing today, much less a vote. Now, Mr. Chairman, you could simply reverse your ruling right now, and I would welcome a full debate on every single Democratic and Republican amendment that has been filed to fix the very real flaws in this bill.
Audit Liz Warren. Audit Liz Warren.
First, the draft in front of us would blow a hole in our securities laws that have protected investors since 1929. Most Americans don't want their pensions at risk so that a few crypto billionaires can juice their own profits. Second, this bill declares open season on defrauding American consumers who use crypto. The bill wipes out a huge number of state-level protections against fraud. Third, the bill puts our financial system at risk by repeating the mistakes of 2008. Letting the banks load up on risky debts, letting them scrape off the profits, and then, when it all comes crashing down, come back to the American taxpayer for a bailout. Fourth, the bill puts our national security at greater risk. Just 3 days ago, the Treasury Department issued an alert warning that Iran is exploiting crypto businesses to move their money around. Multiple public analysis.
Do you mean it has to be unanimous? I don't think it has to be unanimous.
Are shifting their money laundering to crypto. And
oh my God, no.
The cops can't keep up. And finally, the bill doesn't lift even the tiniest finger to address the Trump administration's crypto-related corruption. Since taking office last year, President Trump and his family have amassed a staggering $1.4
How can she lie?
billion
How can she straight up lie?
From crypto deals alone. No president and no one in Congress should be allowed to profit from crypto at the same time that they are enforcing rules to regulate it. This kind of corruption undermines our democracy, and it undermines the legitimacy of the crypto industry. It will keep right on growing if Congress fails to rein it in. Now, a year ago, some of you may remember, Republicans sat in this very room and made one promise after another as they passed the Genius Act. What did they promise? They promised we'll close the national security loopholes. They promised we'll address glaring ethics problems. They promised we'll fix the yield issue. Republicans told us not to worry about the gaps in the first crypto bill because the second bill, the bill we have today, would fix every one of those problems. Well, today we are voting on the second bill, and every one of those problems still exists today. And this time, the same Republicans are shutting down amendments that would make the fixes they promised a year ago. This markup is our chance to fix these problems. And until we fix these problems, none of us, Republican or Democrat, should advance this bill out of committee or onto the Senate floor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. I do want to make a couple of comments about the process that we've undertaken over the last several months, and particularly as it relates to some of the amendments that were taken out because they were not in order. After the amendment process had a walkthrough, Ranking Member Warren's staff objected to a Republican amendment on a technical drafting issue, arguing it should be thrown out because it referenced the wrong substitute amendment number. Once they insisted on that standard, committee staff reviewed the full amendment roster to ensure consistency. Staff confirmed with the committee clerk in consultation with the parliamentarian and floor staff that there were amendments that were filed incorrectly. What I decided to do was to, as opposed to throwing all those amendments out, throw out only the ones that were the most egregious. So the process that we've actually gone through was to make sure that both sides had an opportunity. But this whole discrepancy started when staffers decided to target a Republican amendment. And frankly, as my colleagues on my right recognize, I threw out amendments on our side as well and had to talk to our folks about that. At this time, I'll recognize.
Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Might I?
Oh,
might I
God,
reply on
no.
that? I appreciate the work we
Certainly.
do together. But I want to correct the record on one
please shut
important
up.
issue. It is your call and your call alone to rule these amendments out of order. When we talked last night, I made clear, I'm happy to have all of the amendments in, all of the Democratic amendments in, all of the Republican amendments in. You and you alone have decided which amendments are in and which amendments are out. And that creates a problem because there are some very important amendments that address some very important issues that I think we should hear from. So I will reiterate my lack of objection today. Let them all be heard. Let us vote on all of them.
Thank you. That doesn't change the fact on how we got to where we are, however. It was brought by
Roaster,
my
bro.
staff. It's brought by your staff, number one. Number two, let me just say this very clearly because I'm not going to go back and forth on this issue. Democrats have frankly worked hard on this bill. Our bill first came out in June of last year. Since June of last year, we've added 33,000 words, 219 pages in an effort to make this legislation as bipartisan as humanly possible. I can't imagine how much time Senator Alsobrooks has spent on this legislation. Frankly, during very difficult and challenging times, her focus remained on getting things done. And Tillis worked with her on parts of the very legislation that we're talking about where the negotiation allowed us to get to where we are. Gallego has spent a ton of time talking with members on this side, Bernie Moreno and others, trying to find a path forward. So the truth of the matter is, as frustrating as this process has been, without question, when I talk to members on your side of the aisle, including Warnock and Senator, we call her CCM, but Catherine Cortez Masto and Senator Warner, the one thing I can tell you,
Crusty Warren.
the entire process, we have disagreed vehemently, but respectfully and consistently, and working towards an end result that makes America better. As a kid who grew up in poverty, the thing that attracts me to this issue the most is democratization, an opportunity to lower prices, create access points that today does not exist. This ought not be about Republicans and Democrats. It ought not be about who's on which side of the aisle or whether you agree with what we've done. This should be about the American people and nothing else. I want single mothers like the one that raised me to have more opportunities, more access at a lower price. And so we will disagree on this today. But I hope that what we end up with is a legislative product that is good now and gets another bite at the apple as it heads to the floor. This is not over. And I hope that no one thinks that this is over. This process has been transparent, it has been hard, and it has been clear. And that's good news for the American people who are watching this process. I tried my very best to take the expertise of an AG who understands issues better than others. I worked really hard with folks who was a county supervisor, as I was, to understand the local impact in community banks. We've done a very good job of putting it together. Now, I'm a little long-winded if I wanted to be a preacher like Warnock. but it didn't work out for me. God didn't call me to that. He didn't call me to that.
Mr. Chair, stay in your lane.
Yes. Someone should say amen before he takes up an offering. But I'm just...
Oh my God, stop with the blaspheme, bro.
Here's the point. This is a real opportunity to move the ball forward for a lot of people in a lot of places.
Well, yeah.
That's losing confidence in American institutions. Let's not
Smash the like,
demonize
please.
because it's easy.
Subscribe to the channel. Become a member,
Let's
please.
work together because it's hard and important. Senator Lummis.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order.
Certainly.
Thank you. And I agree with you. I think we need to continue to move forward. And so in that vein, my question is, so we don't run afoul of this in the future, is the amendment, Cortez Masto 16 was ruled out of order.
Yes.
And can you explain why it was out of order? That would help me in the future.
Certainly. We asked all amendments to be written to the ANS, and the amendments were written to the Friday Clarity Act. Friday when we released the legislation, we asked the amendments to be written to the substitute language.
Right. And it was?
It was not.
How was it not? That would be helpful, just so I know.
I can pull it up. It was written to the HR, and it is a strike and replace of text in the HR that was not in there because it's in the ANS. We talked to the floor, and they said if they had received an amendment like this, that is a strike and replace, that it's written as a put in the appropriate place, it would not have been accepted on the floor.
So just so we have a clarification for the future for all
Certainly.
of us, so we don't get caught in
Yes, yes.
this or that, these aren't ours. I asked the parliamentarian if this was out of order, and she said no. And so I do think it will be helpful in the future so that we don't get caught up in this craziness and we still can move forward as a body that works together on amendments, has conversation, discussion, that we have an understanding of these amendments. So I just appreciate you taking my point of
boy.
order.
Absolutely.
And for the record, I will submit the parliamentarian's response to the question that I had about my amendment number 16.
Without objection.
Thank
we-
you.
We will submit our conversation with the
Bitcoin's
parliamentarians.
moving, guys. Almost
Senator
81K.
Lummis, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start by a casual conversation among friends that are around this dais. Mr. Warner, thank you so much for working so hard on this bill over the last 9 months. Senator Cortez Masto, thank you. You brought a level of expertise on illicit finance that none of the rest of us had, and I want to thank you so much for that. Your thoughts, Mr. Warnock, throughout the last 9 months have been additive to what I think is a very good bill. Mr. Gallego has worked tirelessly behind the scenes on multiple issues that are involved in this legislation. And I want to single out Senator Also Brooks for her tremendous time commitment and work with Mr. Tillis on the language that has helped bring this bill to the floor today on the concerns that the banking industry had about the Genius Act. This has been a bipartisan dialogue that has gone on for 9 months. It has been almost tireless. And Mr. Marino, Mr. Tillis, Mr. Kennedy, honest.
Not everything.
And especially Senator Scott, who has kept us on track for 9 months. This is the hardest piece of legislation I've ever worked on. I served 14 years in the Wyoming legislature, 8 years as state treasurer, and now 14 years in the Congress. This is by far the hardest piece of legislation I've ever worked on. And your colleague, Kirsten Gillibrand, said the same thing. And she has more experience than I do in the U.S. Senate. And it's because this is a case of first impression. This is a very new commodity and security. And it takes time to craft something to address the innovation that has been brought about through blockchain technology. And that's why it's taken such a bipartisan effort, heavy lift, lots of negotiations, involvement from those people who are in the industry. And it has morphed since we began this bill 5 years ago because the industry has matured over those years. This is new. And to have something this innovative come to us via legislation today really is quite remarkable. So I want to thank the people in this room, both in the audience.
You guys are
and
so funny
at
in
the
these
table
comments, dude.
for their tireless dedication. Treasury, the White House, the industry, we have all worked hard together, and I pledge to you, we will continue to work hard together after today and before this bill hits the floor to address that maybe 1% of the remaining issues that didn't come to fruition before today, in spite of our round-the-clock negotiations. This is America's innovation of the 250th anniversary of our Constitution. There's been nothing like it in our history. This bill continues the legacy of America by ensuring innovation happens here on U.S. soil under clear pro-growth, pro-consumer guidelines. And I can't resist, Mr. Chairman, when I was listening to the ranking member, the risks of which she spoke exist now, right now, because there is no regulatory framework. There is no way now that this industry can protect the good actors, discover, vet, and punish the bad actors, and create a playing field with clear regulation, both at the SEC and the CFTC, that everyone can play under and continue to innovate. We can return this industry to the United States because the majority of it has already left for overseas.
Yes,
because
Cynthia,
this
yes.
legislation wasn't ready until today. Let me go through a couple of the things that we have done to strengthen and address some of the issues that have been raised. Regard to anti-money laundering and illicit finance, it creates risk-based exam standards. It expands Treasury's special measure authority to act swiftly against foreign money laundering. It creates studies on mixers and tumblers. It requires annual Treasury reports on foreign jurisdictions' compliance with U.S. AML CFT standards. It requires recurring Treasury reports on offshore stablecoins. It requires mandatory educational materials on digital asset risks, insider resale restrictions to prevent pump and dump schemes. It has timely disclosure requirements, broker-deal insolvency disclosures, a federal regulatory floor for crypto kiosks. This is very important.
Yes.
This has been a problem in my state.
Absolutely, yes.
Tokenized securities remain securities under SEC jurisdiction. FTC authority over unfair or deceptive practices. $30 million per year through 2031 for FinCEN. With regard to fraud and AML provisions, temporary holds for suspicious activities and preventing those who place the holds from having private causes of action. It applies BSA regulation to digital asset brokers, dealers, and exchanges. This list goes on and on. This is a pro-law enforcement bill. And it's also a pro-consumer bill. Consumers can now transmit money between them faster and cheaper than they can now. It provides a level playing field regardless of whether you live in Rwanda or Queens, New York, about transmitting money faster and cheaper. It provides a woman who's trying to get out of a battered, miserable marriage the opportunity to walk away with her money in her head. It provides people who are being tortured in foreign countries
Yes!
the
Frickin'
opportunity
yes!
to walk away from that country with their money in their head, because Bitcoin can be memorized.
Frick yes.
This is an innovation that provides individual freedom, individual savings. It is
Preach!
faster, cheaper, it is secure, and we're inviting that consumer environment into our country under a very clearly articulated set of rules. And it's because of all the work that has gone into this by the people in this room. I absolutely pledge that I will work with you before this bill gets to the floor. We know those few remaining little items that we have to work on together. I trust you, and I want you to trust me to see this process through, because we know when we work together that we can create a product that we can be proud of and the American people can be proud of. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Period. Freaking period. Yes.
Very quick, Mr. Chairman. Senator Lummis did a wonderful job. I just want to reinforce a couple of things. You know, quite honestly, when I heard the ranking member talk, I thought I'd teleported into a parallel universe where we were talking about a different bill that was being negotiated. This bill has all of the attributes that Senator Lummis discussed. That's why AARP has endorsed it. That's why
Freaking send it. $81,000 Bitcoin, send it.
The status quo, quite
Let's
honestly,
go.
is unacceptable. Not to mention the competitive threat that we have for foreign jurisdictions just to take the money elsewhere, and then we're aiding and abetting and expanding the use of illicit finance through this tool. But I don't need to get into those merits, the merits of the bill anymore. I just want to thank Senator Brooks. I want to thank Senator Gallego. I want to thank Senator Cortez Masto, who really opened my eyes to some of the prosecutorial issues that I, as a non-attorney, hadn't paid attention to. Senator Warner, Senator Warnock. Yeah, I've done a lot of bipartisan bills in my time in the Senate. And the only way this works is a bipartisan vote out of this committee to get all these things that are in this bill moving. But the Democrats have ball control. They control the motion to proceed. Like Senator Lummis, I'm committed to work in good faith, and I think I've proven that multiple times when it was tough for a Republican to lead something, and I'm going to do it again here. But let's get the momentum out of this committee. But finally, and I have to tell, I told Senator Brooks this morning, what a joy it's been to work with her staff. And the one group here, we've talked about the stakeholders, we've talked about the folks from the White House, but we should all give our staff who have gotten here before us and left here after us for all of the hard work that they've done, and we owe them the respect of reporting this out on a bipartisan basis today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Reid, and this will be the last comment. Senator Warren has just helped me remember that some members have to go to other committees, and we should get to the amendments. Senator Reid, the floor is yours.
I'll be very brief, Mr.
Oh,
Chairman.
shut up, Liz Warren. Shut up.
I've heard both you and Senator Lummis speak eloquently about working together. I've been on this committee almost 30 years. The definition of working together at a markup is allowing amendments to be called up and voted upon. The vote determines where we go forward. And I've never witnessed anything like this in these 30 years, with this arbitrarily eliminating amendments, telling people they can't bring them up or modify them to be brought up. And I'm willing to work together, but this is not an example of working together. Thank you.
I move to call up H.R. 3633, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025, and ask unanimous consent that we dispense with the reading of all amendments. Senators will find printed copies in front of them, the text of which has already been made available. Is there an objection? Without objection, so ordered. I move to consideration of the manager's amendment, Scott Amendment Number 1. It is an amendment, the nature of the substitute to H.R. 3633. I ask that Scott Amendment Number 1, the substitute amendment, be adopted and considered as original text for purposes of further amendment. I ask that the amendment be adopted by voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Ayes have it. The ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed to. I now call up rounds 133. Senator Rounds, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment, number 133, I have with co-sponsor Senators Kim and Warner, and I would thank them for their participation in this. This amendment would require financial regulatory agencies to establish AI innovation labs, or sandboxes. These will enable regulated financial institutions to experiment with AI test projects without expectation of enforcement action, taking a balanced approach that encourages both innovation and responsible adoption of AI. This amendment would create a venue, a sandbox, for institutions to safety test and experiment with cutting-edge technologies while allowing regulators to learn about the tools that will transform financial services. It closely aligns with the purpose of the bill we are considering today, which is why I urge my colleagues to support this amendment. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I would ask for a vote.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to be recognized on this amendment.
Okay.
Is that all right?
60 seconds. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this amendment would establish a sandbox, as Senator Rounds says, for artificial intelligence products and services in the financial sector. Look, I appreciate my colleagues' interest in this issue, but boy, I am not ready to support this proposal. This is not the place to make decisions about AI regulation. The committee should hold hearings on the implications of AI. We should have a debate about the policy options. I am happy to work with my colleagues to see if there's a version of this amendment that we can support, but this provision is not there yet, and I don't think a track record of these sandboxes over the past decade in financial technology or fintech context should give us much confidence that that actually turns out to have good results for the American people.
Fire Liz
and that
Warren.
it ensures safe
Fire her.
innovation for AI. So I think this is way too big for a little amendment like this, and opens doors we should not be opening without a much fuller discussion and hearings. So I would urge my colleagues to vote no on rounds 133.
Oh, shut up.
Aye. Mr. Crapo? Aye. Mr. Rounds? Aye. Mr. Tillis?
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy? Aye. Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis? Aye. Mrs. Britt? Aye. Mr. Ricketts? Aye. Mr. Banks? Aye. Mr. Kramer?
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Moreno?
You're welcome. Thank you. You're
Smash the
Mr.
likes,
McCormick?
thumbs up
Aye.
emoji, subscribe and share
Ms.
everyone.
Warren?
No.
Also, please, someone shut
Mr.
Warren's
Reed?
face.
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No by proxy.
Oh, shut up,
Ms.
Liz.
Cortez Masto? No. Ms. Smith? No. Mr. Warnock?
No.
Mr. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. Gallego?
No.
Ms. Blunt Rochester?
No.
Ms. Alsobrooks?
No.
The vote is 15 in favor and 9 opposed.
The amendment is agreed to. I now call up Warren, number 74.
So let's talk about some of the people who will be hurt by a bill that supercharges the crypto industry without guardrails. People saving for retirement and people with pension plans. The current draft fails to address one of the biggest concerns that retirees face in this bill, the tokenization loophole. This country's biggest workers' unions and groups representing the largest pension funds have said that this is a catastrophic problem. Under this bill, companies could escape basic securities laws by raising
Why is she allowed
money
to speak?
through tokens rather than traditional securities like stock, exposing Americans to a host of risks by removing necessary investor protections. The bill also kneecaps federal and state law enforcement authorities' ability to crack down on crypto fraud and scams. In other words, This bill sets up investors to be defrauded.
What do you mean? You're insider trading all the time.
Require investment
Allegedly.
advisors and other entities in the financial system to develop and implement processes to protect investors from the heightened risk posed by crypto before recommending it to Americans looking to invest their hard-earned money.
What do you
Every member of
freaking
this
mean?
committee should agree with this simple fix to protect our investors, and I urge my colleagues to support Warren Amendment 74.
Shut up. Fire
Liz
Liz Warren now.
60 seconds.
Thank you,
Fire
Mr.
her.
Chairman.
Investigate
This
her.
amendment
Audit
would
her.
Single out digital assets for a
Freaking
special
ridiculous.
presumption of non-compliance and create unnecessary litigation risk. This amendment should not be adopted. It requires fiduciaries to implement special processes to protect clients from digital asset risks or be presumed to have violated their fiduciary duty. Current fiduciary standards already require intermediaries to act in their clients' best interests, making this amendment unnecessary.
The clerk will call the roll.
Chairman?
No?
Mr. Crapo?
No.
Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis?
No.
Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? No. Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks? No. Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
Thank you. You're welcome.
Ms. Smith?
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank
Mr.
you.
Warnock?
Tell me bought and paid for by the
Mr.
banks
Kim?
without saying it, Warren.
Mr.
You're an
Gallego?
embarrass to the state and the country.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Glenn Rochester?
American Bankers Association,
Ms.
frickin'
Alsop?
huckster, fraudster, scam artist. Scam
Vote is
artist.
11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to. We'll now go to Britt 14. Senator Britt, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
She's
I'd like
a
to offer
scammer.
Britt number 14, my amendment regarding 403B savings accounts. This bill is bipartisan. It is very simple. It is widely supported. It allows employees of nonprofit organizations like public school teachers, ministers, nurses. It allows them the same access to the 401k retirement plans that most Americans can enjoy. CITs offer a wider investment vehicle along with lower fees and even higher returns, and this will allow them to participate in that. This levels the playing field so that more hardworking Americans can access more investment options and ultimately retire sooner. I want to thank Senator Warnock for leading this standalone bill with me and a number of my colleagues here on this committee, both Democrat and Republican, who have co-sponsored it. I am committed to finding a vehicle for this to move. I am also committed to making sure that the Clarity Act moves out today. So we will look for a different vehicle and we'll continue to build support. I withdraw my amendment, but look forward to working with the chair and the ranking member to actually get this done.
Thank you very much.
Interesting.
And I'll call up Warren 64.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right, another
Chairman. So
one.
this bill that
Are
we're
you
looking
freaking
at
kidding me?
fails to address foundational gaps on money laundering responsibilities.
Oh, my
for
freaking word.
conventional
Oh, my
crypto
word.
businesses and for DeFi services.
I gotta walk away. I
And
think I gotta
even
freaking
for
walk.
the very worst platforms, this bill fails to restore sanctions authority to isolate them. While we're at war, Iran is openly gearing up to collect crypto fees from oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Terrorist groups, rogue states, foreign adversaries, and criminals are using crypto to evade our sanctions and launder their money.
Are you freaking
According
kidding
to
me?
Industry analysts, crypto crime jumped at least $154
Compare that to
billion
cash and the
last year,
GDP. It's not even
driven in
freaking
large
close.
part by a
It's not even close. Oh my
694%
God.
increase in crypto funds sent to sanctioned entities. Sanctioned entities are receiving.
Liar.
Look, we
You're a
need to
liar.
fix the hole in our sanctions authority and crack down on crypto money laundering. In 2022, the United States sanctioned a notorious mixer.
Yeah, she doesn't. She
called
only
Tornado
acknowledges crypto
Cash
as money when she
that had
wants
been
to,
used
'cause she's a
launder
freaking
more than
liar.
$7 billion for criminals and foreign
Wow.
adversaries. including
Just
more than
wow.
$450 million for a North Korean hacking group.
That you can't
These
even
types of
prove.
crypto services are designed to
Lies.
make it easy to launder a huge pile of money and making it hard for anyone, including our law enforcement officials, to tell where the money came from.
Why
They
is she
are a
lying?
favorite tool.
Why is
for
no one
hackers,
stopping her?
For terrorist groups and for sanctioned regimes. But a court said Treasury needed Congress, us, to act before it would be able to sanction the mixers like Tornado Cash.
Are you
this
at-
amendment is simple. It restores the authority to isolate and sanction decentralized crypto platforms that repeatedly facilitate transactions with terrorist organizations like ISIS or Al-Qaeda.
Oh,
or
shut
with
up,
North
you freaking
Korea,
liar.
Russia, or Iran. And I urge my colleagues to support this amendment.
Why would you? You're lying.
Senator Lummis,
You're
for rebuttal.
freaking
Thank you,
lying.
Mr. Chairman. The reason that's happening is
What a
because
liar.
this bill is not law. When this bill becomes law, it includes robust provisions in Titles 2 and 3 to address illicit finance and sanctions. And it focuses these provisions where they'll be most effective. For example, it provides law enforcement with the tools they need to trace and disrupt money laundering and clarifies sanctions and anti-money laundering requirements for digital asset entities. We want to discourage the illegitimate use of digital assets while encouraging the legitimate use. And we have found that balance in this bill. This amendment is not necessary. I urge that we oppose the amendment.
Mr. Chairman.
Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Senator Kennedy.
Do I have your permission to ask Senator Warren a
Oh my
quick
God,
question?
I freaking love him. I love him.
15 seconds.
Go, Mr. Kennedy, go.
It'll take them that long to clear it.
Senator Warren, I don't understand why this bill doesn't already accomplish the very worthy goal that you've articulated.
Chairman, may I answer?
15 seconds.
It's the tornado problem. You remember tornado, the mixer. What this amendment does is it says that the government can sanction and wall off a mixer like Tornado. What purpose does Tornado serve except to hide where the money came from and where the money's going to? And who needs to hide where the money came from and where the money's going to? It's the terrorists, it's the money launderers, it's Iran, it's the sanctioned entities.
This is longer than
all
15
this is
seconds.
doing
Get her
is
out of
saying,
here. Get her off the
let's
mic.
give the power, doesn't actually isolate them in the
It's
bill.
the tornado problem.
Let's give the power to government to say, when this is what you're doing, they can isolate you when you're dealing with these bad actors. You're mixing up the money so that you advance money laundering.
Oh, shut up. She doesn't even know what it
And then we'll
does.
move to the vote.
She doesn't even know what it
Mr. Chairman,
does.
this bill provides for a study of the use of mixes and tumblers. They're a very complicated
It's the
entity.
tornado
Plus,
problem.
provides $30 million to FinCEN, which does have the expertise to unravel mixes and tumblers, and already has the tools it needs to enforce.
Yeah. Can I just say on that, yes.
Why is she
they
able to
have the
answer?
Expertise, but they don't have the legal authority. A court has said they need legal authority from Congress so that they will be able to isolate these mixers. Right now, they can't do that. So put your money in if you're a terrorist, go use Tornado, and know that there will be virtually no chance of being caught. And that this is how Iran can stay in the game and keep using its money.
Right.
This is how North Korea stays in. I'm sorry.
Certainly. Rebut, Senator Lummis. Bill solves that problem?
Yes, Title 2 and 3. And it's in illicit finance sanctions focus on providing law enforcement with the tools they need to trace and disrupt money laundering, including mixes
A
and
study.
tumblers. Well, the law enforcement tools are also in this bill.
Clerk, call the roll. No?
Mr. Crapo?
No.
Mr. Rounds?
No.
Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt?
No.
Mr. Ricketts?
No.
Mr. Banks?
No.
Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr.
Of
Reed?
course, shut up.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
Yes, by proxy.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Warnock? Mr. Kim?
Frickin' garbage.
Mr. Gallego?
Absolute frickin' garbage that she's allowed to
Ms.
speak.
Blunt
Garbage.
Rochester? Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not adopted. We now call up McCormick, 115. Senator McCormick, you are now recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To have the opportunity to introduce my amendment 115, co-sponsored with Senator Bill Haggerty. There's a long history of bipartisan support for the SEC and CFTC to provide for portfolio margining. Section 402 of the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act directs the SEC and the CFTC to jointly issue rules that enable portfolio margining across securities, swaps, futures, and digital commodity accounts held by registered dealers, FCMs, or brokers. This section is intended to allow natural risk offsets among positions to be recognized and would create greater efficiencies for investors to manage risk. However, for the portfolio margining to function properly, changes are necessary to ensure that customer protections under the Securities Investor Protection Act, SIPA, carry to CFTC-regulated products in the event that a broker-dealer becomes insolvent. This amendment I'm offering today gives the SEC and CFTC the flexibility to write rules relating to SIPA with consultation from SIPC and Treasury on expanded security portfolio margin accounts. Not only is this essential for customer protection during times of market stress, but the amendment also explicitly prohibits SIPC advances from covering digital commodities or swap positions which protect traditional securities customers. Digital assets are being folded into the fabric of the financial system. This amendment recognizes that reality, and its passage is important to every single market participant, the banks, crypto, and customers. This amendment is the result of working closely with both Treasury and SIPC and represents a bipartisan agreement with my Democratic colleagues. I would ask to be adopted by voice, but I'm open to a roll call vote, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Mr. Chairman.
Voice, if everybody.
I'd like to respond,
Certainly.
if I could. Thank you. Section 402
please,
of this
please.
bill directs the CFTC and SEC to issue a joint rulemaking that will facilitate portfolio margining across a wide variety of categories of a lot of diverse instruments, including crypto. Now, as everyone here knows, portfolio margining allows calculation of margin requirements based on the overall portfolio rather than by individual position, and it has the effect of lowering margin requirements for trading. Lower margin requirements increase leverage and therefore increase risk in the system. Excessive leverage in our financial system has, time and time again, been a culprit in crashes that harm not just our financial markets, but spread to the real economy. The bill is set to unleash unregulated crypto upon our economy. It would also increase leverage across a range of different asset classes and regulatory regimes. I appreciate that Amendment 115 takes some steps toward protecting consumers from the havoc of this new regime, but it is not enough. The amendment further seems to remove SIPC protections from accounts with crypto, which highlights one of the real paradoxes in this bill. It pushes more of the market into crypto and removes protections for investors and removes recourse for victims. That is the wrong direction to go in.
All righty.
When this blows up at the economy, I hope everybody remembers their
Mr. Chairman.
Mute her mic. Mute it.
Actually, we're out of time, actually.
Here.
I'm going to stick with our 2 minutes, 1 minute as much as possible.
Jeez, bro.
Voice vote?
Jeez.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Actually, I'd like to have a recorded vote on this. I think this one's going to matter in history.
Clerk will call the roll. Chairman? Aye.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Oh, God. Oh,
Mr.
my
Tillis?
Lord.
Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis? Mrs. Britt?
Everyone should be asking who
Ricketts?
pays you?
Mr.
Who pays you,
Aye,
Liz
by
Warren?
proxy.
How much have you insider traded
Mr. Kramer?
allegedly?
Mr. Moreno?
Aye.
Mr. McCormick?
Aye.
Like, what a freaking... Oh,
Ms.
my
Warren?
God. I can't say
No.
bad words.
Mr. Reed? Mr. Warner? Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith?
My one question is, how do you go and, like, lie? How do you go and lie to everybody? She's a liar, saying that, like, crypto money laundering what? Dude, look at the world's GDP. A good portion of the world's GDP is laundered through cash and trad banking. Why is no one talking about that? Crypto doesn't even come close. Less than 1% of crypto's transactions are illicit. She needs to get freaking corrected, and she should not be able to speak and lie openly like this. This is blasphemous.
So when banks take excessive risks in pursuit of windfall profits, we know what happens next.
Oh,
The
shut
bets
up,
blow
Liz.
up, businesses on Main Street are shuttered, workers lose their jobs and retirement savings, families are thrown out of their homes, and the economy goes into recession. Oh, and then Wall Street comes to Congress and begs for bailouts and gets them. That's why our laws are supposed to keep the banks safe and sound, in part by limiting the kinds of assets that banks can own and the activities they can conduct. There are plenty of traditional assets that banks are prohibited from owning and traditional activities that banks are prohibited from conducting. This bill would throw out these sensible restrictions on crypto assets. For example, the bill allows banks to transact in the Wild West of decentralized finance, where a platform seems to face a run, get hacked, or otherwise implode pretty much every week. The bill also allows banks to lend against crypto as collateral, to own crypto directly, to trade crypto derivatives, and more.
Are you kidding
The bill
me?
also repeals a key pillar of the Dodd-Frank Act for digital assets, known as the Volcker Rule. The bill allows bank holding companies to buy and sell digital assets for any investment or trading purpose, including the type of dangerous proprietary trading and hedge fund activities that helped cause the 2008 crash.
What about your insider trading, bro?
Innocent businesses and families that have never even heard of the blockchain will suffer if the next crypto crash also causes a banking crash.
Because
My
the banks
amendment
are failing.
would
They're
strike
crashing
these
anyway. They're
dangerous provisions from the
insolvent.
bill, I urge my colleagues to vote for Warren 52.
Wouldn't it? Oh, I was going to say a bad word, guys. I'm muting this because I'm PO'd right now. How do you go and talk about auditing everyone except for yourself? Audit the banks. The banks are failing because they are a business. Businesses fail. Fiat is dying. The banks are over leveraged. They're absolutely insolvent. Let's regulate the banks. Let's truly understand where their money is going, because they're funding corruption and criminals. And her herself is being funded by them. So she should not be able to speak when she is freaking paid for. It is disgusting.
We need to integrate all of these assets into the banks that are allowed to do them to
Disgusting.
continue to do them. There are no special carve-outs. This amendment would strike three key provisions of the bill related to bank permissibility, portfolio margining, and netting agreements. I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment.
Clerk will call the roll.
The chairman?
Nope.
Mr. Crapo?
Nope.
Mr. Rounds?
Nope.
Mr. Tillis?
No.
Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt? Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks?
No by proxy?
Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
Aye.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith? Aye. Mr. Warnock? Aye. Mr. Kim? Aye. Mr. Gallego? Aye. Ms. Blunt Rochester? Aye. Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to. We now call up Warren 66.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Jeffrey Epstein was an early backer of crypto. He poured millions of dollars into Coinbase, one of the biggest benefactors of this bill, if it becomes law. And that's no surprise. Epstein recognized crypto's potential as a tool
You get paid by
to
JP
covertly
Morgan,
facilitate
Jamie Dimon,
illicit
dude.
payments. But as the crypto ecosystem was new and just developing, Wall Street banks were happy to provide the financial services that Epstein needed to facilitate his crimes. You might think that big banks would have severed their ties with Epstein following his 2008 conviction for soliciting
Allegedly.
a child for sex, and you would be wrong. For more than a decade, banks like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, and Bank of America generated massive fees off of Epstein's business while ignoring very obvious red flags.
So then why are you best friends with Jamie
It wasn't until
Dimon?
Epstein was
Why?
arrested once again in 2019 that JP Morgan finally disclosed more than 4,700 transactions made between 1998 and 2013, totaling more than $1 billion, including payments to Russian banks and young women. I have called on President Trump's bank regulators to use their authorities to investigate the bank executives that helped facilitate Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and to turn over any information they have gathered over the years to Congress. And so far, they haven't lifted a finger. This amendment would require the federal banking regulators to publish any bank examination records related to Epstein and his co-conspirators. What did the banks know, and when did they know it? Did bank regulators spot anything that should have set off alarms? Answers to those questions may be buried in the banking regulators' confidential supervisory records. Some sunlight might help prevent Wall Street and crypto companies from funding the next Jeffrey Epstein. I urge my colleagues to support Warren 66.
Mr. Chairman, confidential supervisory information is not germane to digital asset market structure. The Epstein files have nothing to do with this bill. I urge my colleagues to oppose the amendment.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
The point of order?
Sure. I just wanted to ask Senator Warren, how are you defining co-conspirators?
Ooh.
This is exactly what we want to find out. When you don't have the information, you don't know. But what we do know is that Jeffrey Epstein was using crypto early on, that he was involved in illicit financial transactions, that three of the largest financial institutions...
I'm sorry, I get that. But you say the regulators have to release stuff about Epstein and his co-conspirators. How are they going to know who his co-conspirators are?
Well, they have already been named in court documents. One is identified is Ghislaine Maxwell as an identified, convicted co-conspirator. And I think her record should be released as well.
I look forward to you all continuing this conversation after the hearing. Clerk will call the roll. No.
Mr. Crapo?
No.
Mr. Rounds?
No.
Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks?
No by proxy.
Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Reed? Mr. Warner? Mr. Van Hollen? Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith? Mr. Warnock? Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to. We will now move to,
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to get in trouble again, I
Yes,
know,
sir.
but I've got another point of order.
Go on.
I would consider voting for this amendment if you think about taking out co-conspirators.
I'd be glad to amend it. Yes, the author of the amendment accepts the proposed change.
Mr. Chair, point of order, the vote's been held, the amendment's been disposed of. That would require an additional amendment at this time.
the amendment is not agreed to. We will now move to call up Read number 90.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment allows the government to block foreign illicit transactions that occur using stable coins as if they were dollars in a bank. This will primarily crack down on Iran's use of stable coins to fund their nuclear program, support terrorist proxies, and engage with our forces at the present time. According to blockchain analytics firm TRM Labs, Iran continues to use cryptocurrency to source sensitive goods. Chinese chip resellers have shown the willingness and capability to supply drone components, electrical equipment, AI critical hardware, etc. And these unmanned systems, these drones, are what is wreaking havoc on our forces and our allies in the Persian Gulf today. We've lost 14 Americans and hundreds wounded, and the money can be traced back, much of it, to stablecoins. Now, Iran is also accepting tolls in stablecoins at the Strait of Hormuz, and they're making money on that too. Now, Treasury cannot shut down this operation. Excuse me. They have to go hat in hand to Tether and say, please, Tether, would you voluntarily stop doing this? We need structures. Everyone
It's
stands
not
around and
going
talks about how
too
much
great
they
because
support
Liz
the
Warren
troops.
doesn't stop
You really support
talking.
the troops, cut off the funding for the Iranians.
Rebuttal? Senator
Chairman.
Hagerty, please.
Mr. Chairman, the bill that we're voting on today already includes dedicated illicit finance and sanctions provisions for digital assets. Title II and Title III address anti-money laundering, sanctions compliance, information sharing, digital asset kiosks, DeFi risk controls, and other illicit financing risks. The amendment creates a broad extraterritorial rule for dollar-denominated stablecoins. I'm concerned that actually could undermine responsible use of stablecoins abroad. So I'm going to urge my colleagues to oppose Senator Reed's amendment.
Mr. President?
Clerk will call the roll. No.
Mr. Crapo?
No by proxy.
Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis? No. Mr. Kennedy? No. Mr. Hagerty?
Hagerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? No. Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks? No. Mr. Kramer? No. Mr. Moreno? No. Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
Aye.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith? Aye. Mr. Warnock? Aye. Mr. Kim? Aye. Mr. Gallego? Aye.
Hucksters.
Ms. Blunt Rochester?
Fraudsters.
Ms. Also Brooks?
Scam artists.
The vote is 11 in
Oh,
favor
was Gary
and
talking
13
about Liz
opposed.
Warren?
The amendment is
Huckster,
not agreed
fraudster,
to. We'll
scam
now move
artist,
to Read number
liar,
100.
manipulator,
Senator?
should
Thank
not
you very
have a
much, Mr.
mic,
Chairman.
should be
My amendment
investigated
number
and audited.
100, attempts to do what I tried to do in the Genius Act, which was to make the U.S. dollar the official currency of the United States of America, and it cannot be replaced by alternatives.
Yes, my
as
laundry is
legal
done,
tender.
thank you.
I was struck when Senator Loomis said that the dollar will be digitized, and I think that's the plan of many people. And if it is digitized, the dollar will no longer be controlled by the Federal Reserve. It'll be controlled by companies like World Financial. And that I don't think is a good development for the United States, our
I
economy,
would agree with
or
that.
the world.
I would agree with
And
that.
my amendment would also ensure that the dollar cannot be supplanted by currencies like the Chinese yuan and others. So I think we've got to move and make this very clear. Everyone will nod and say, of course, the dollar is always going to be the currency of the United States. As I said, as I heard today, the dollar will be digitized. And if we don't recognize that, prepare for it. A shame on us.
Well, it better not be a
Thank you.
CBDC, sir. It better not. The Federal
Rebuttal?
Reserve should
Mr.
not have
Chairman?
the ability to issue a central bank digital currency.
Senator Moreno?
Never, ever.
This amendment's outside the scope of the bill before us. The Clarity Act is a market structure bill. It does not make crypto legal tender. It does not require any state to accept crypto for taxes. It does not disturb the status of the United States dollar as legal tender. This amendment tries to resolve a broader issue that is not necessary to the framework we are considering today. We should keep the focus on building a workable regulatory structure for digital assets, not add unrelated legal tender language. And on a personal note, in 2016, I became the first person in the United States of America to pay my taxes with Bitcoin to show the capabilities of the technology. Had I met the senator from Rhode Island, I would not have done that, as I paid $3,000 in taxes with 2 Bitcoin. So I would absolutely be in a better spot had I not done that. So we should have met each other back then.
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
You have about 9 seconds.
9 seconds. I just repeat again what Senator Loomis said. Dollars will be digitized. If we don't make it clear that digital currencies can and may supplant the dollar, we'll be in very difficult economic positions.
We will move on. I do want to make a note that the $3,000 that you used for the Bitcoin would today be worth how much?
Too soon.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure that point was clear. The clerk will call the roll.
The chairman? Mr. Crapo? Mr. Rounds? Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? Mrs. Britt?
This is so
Mr.
embarrassing
Ricketts?
for the United States. They literally,
Banks?
these old people can't get their act together.
Mr. Kramer?
And we're listening to corrupt politicians
Mr.
tell the
Moreno?
next generation what we're going to do
Mr.
when they're
McCormick?
going to be
No.
dead. Literally,
Ms.
they're
Warren?
supposed to be in freaking retirement homes,
Mr.
and they're
Reed?
telling me blockchain's bad. Freaking get out
Mr.
of here.
Warner?
Get out of here.
Mr. Van Hollen? Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith? Mr. Warnock? Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
Thank you. The amendment is not adopted. We will now call up Warner 131, but to answer the question of Senator Moreno, the answer is $161,774.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start by thanking you and your staff. We have worked through thousands of hours. I want to particularly thank Senator Lummis. I can't think of a piece of legislation that I've spent more time on. I voted for Genius because I thought we needed a stablecoin basis in this country. And I think we need a market structure bill for this country as well. And I will look forward to continuing to work on this past committee. Now, I also, though, want to take a moment to acknowledge, I think, a continued good faith from the chairman and Senator Lummis. There are a series of bipartisan amendments that we worked on this morning that you've accepted. So I, again, absolutely trust that we can get this done.
I got to go preheat my oven.
My
I ate a
amendment, and I
bagel.
just, particularly for my friends sitting in the audience, reflects the language that my Republican colleagues and the White House accepted on DeFi. Now, we have worked dramatically since that time, hearing some of the industry's concerns. We've made over 40 changes, and most of that will be included, I think, in Senator Lummis's amendments. I still think there are some issues to work through, particularly to make sure that law enforcement has the tools it needs to make sure bad actors can't find a way to work around this framework, make sure senior government officials can't use these tools to enrich themselves. I'm committed to working to get a bill that moves this bill forward on the floor. I guess I've often said I've been in crypto hell the last couple of months. I hope to get to crypto heaven. I guess I'm right now in crypto purgatory, but I'm looking forward to getting all the way there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I withdraw my amendment.
Thank you. I'll now call up, actually before I do so, we are around 11:45, which means that we're about 17 minutes away from the 2-hour window and would need permission to continue beyond that.
We are glad to continue beyond that.
Great.
Oh, you're so glad to continue, Liz. Oh, because the banks paid you an extra hourly wage, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Allegedly, just joking, not really.
Last year, the volume of digital assets involved in illicit activities blew through all previous records. By one estimate, $154 billion was sent to illicit crypto wallets, up from $59 billion in 2024. Decentralized finance, DeFi services play an important role in this illicit ecosystem. I think we all know that. Bad actors use tools like tumblers and mixers to launder money, evade law enforcement, and move funds. Just look at what North Korean hackers did last year. They hacked $1.5 billion from the crypto exchange Bybit, and then used DeFi services and exchanges to switch between crypto tokens to launder funds and evade investigators. These are funds that can now help support the North Korean nuclear program or other illicit activities. Or look at Iran.
Are you
Iranian
freaking kidding
actors
me?
have been documented using DeFi exchanges and techniques to launder funds and evade sanctions. In some cases, it's clear that these DeFi tools are created because their developers plan to profit from illicit activity. They know that bad actors will exploit these tools. In fact, that's the whole point for some of them.
What?
And so we need to hold them accountable.
What?
Addressing the illicit finance risk in DeFi overall
Wow.
is not straightforward. We know that. But this amendment is straightforward, and it's limited and simple. It would simply make it unlawful to release a DeFi protocol for the express purpose of enabling money laundering, sanctions, evasion, and financing of terrorism.
What a
That's
load
what
of
it does.
garbage.
There should be consequences if you set out to enable drug traffickers, scammers,
Are you
North
actually
Korea or
freaking
Iran,
kidding me?
and I hope my colleagues will agree with that premise and support this amendment.
Okay, I need to stop it right there because this is freaking ridiculous. He literally clicked, that 1.5 billion in crypto. An estimated 2 to 5% of the global GDP, around $800 billion to $2 trillion, is laundered annually. This is 2 to 5% of the global GDP. So don't go and tell me about crypto money laundering, because how do we know? How do we know how much money gets laundered with crypto? Because it's transparent. You can see it on the blockchain. You can't see the cash. You can't see all the criminals that run the banks that pay Liz Warren, that also backed Jeffrey Little Epi over there and let him launder money. So miss me with the absolute propaganda. Oh my God. It's propaganda. Miss me with the propaganda. They're lying to you. Look how much cash is laundered every single year, but no one bats an eye. But you're gonna tell me about crypto. And you know what? Miss me with the Iran stuff too. Why? Because everyone in Iran is looking to Bitcoin because it's the only thing that separates them from being broke. Because the rial, their currency, is done. Okay? Collapsed. Bitcoin is the savior for a lot of people. And if Iran accepts Bitcoin, we know because we can see the transactions. And miss me with, they're using DeFi. BS. Because yesterday we reported that $344 million in Tether was frozen from the Iranian central bank. So they can't do what they want to do because we'll see it and we can stop it. So miss me with this propaganda BS. I'm over it. This is disgusting, the display. They're lying. They're lying to you. Why do we allow people like this to lie to you? Liz Warren's been lying straight through her freaking teeth this entire time. This guy just put out the propaganda piece of a lifetime. Miss me with the lies. This is embarrassing for the United States. These people that are supposed to be in retirement homes are telling me and the next generation what's gonna happen when crypto is the only thing that can save America at this point, because we're old, we're tired, and we're so behind the rest of the world. And it's people like this that do it, that get paid by the banks, that get paid by criminals, allegedly. Miss me with this propaganda. BS.
It's designed to prevent conflict of interests and self-dealing by the president or members of the House or the Senate. It also requires greater transparency. We have all seen the president and members of his family involved in corrupt crypto ventures and various crypto scams. Through World Liberty Financial, the Trump family has raked in billions in profits, much of it obtained through corrupt deals with members of the UAE royal family. In fact, we've heard testimony from witnesses before this committee about that. And the Trump and Melania meme coins have allowed Trump to rake in hundreds of millions, if not more, in cash, even as investors lost $4.3 billion. The way that scam works is that whether retail investors win or lose, Trump is like the house at the casino. He always wins. And what this amendment does is very simple. We're letting the American public know, we're letting the people know that we're not going to allow self-dealing by the president or members of the House and Senate and others who have direct control and influence over these operations, as witnessed by the fact that we're marking up this bill. So the people involved directly in making these policies, from the president to the Congress, should not be able to be issuers of these particular assets and coins. So that's what the amendment does, Mr. Chairman, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Rebuttal?
Mr. Chairman?
Senator Moreno?
This is the Banking Committee, not the Judiciary Committee. The inclusion of a criminal penalty in reference to the Attorney General make this amendment not germane to this committee. It's out of order. I urge my colleagues to vote no. And I would also just say that as a lawyer, you should, if anybody, respect the fact that people are innocent in this country to proven guilty. You're making conclusive comments about a person who's a good man who serves this nation. And to say with no knowledge that he is committing a crime is a disgrace. We can have political conversations about policies. We don't have to turn everything into ad hominem attacks against the President of the United States.
Clerk will call the roll.
Well, the chairman, allow me just to respond briefly, because I was clear, Senator, that the deal with World Liberty Financial has all the markings of a corrupt deal. As you know, the president decided to relieve some of the restrictions the United States had placed on chips and AI to the royal family just after those transactions occurred, and he departed for his trip. And of course, there was the transaction even before the inauguration that Sheikh Tahnoon made in World Liberty Financial.
Let me just reinforce the point that Senator Moreno made. Our country still affords the individual the presumption of innocence. And while we can continue the process of making allegations, I do think Senator Moreno's point is spot on. And rarely do I speak out when you two are having a conversation or any other ones. I do think we should be very careful in this context. But let us move to the vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, of course, this amendment doesn't pass judgment on this issue. This just says the president, no matter who he is, or members of Congress.
Your comments did, not the amendment itself.
I used the word corrupt.
Call the roll.
Difference.
Call the roll.
The gentleman knows.
The chairman?
No.
Mr. Crapo?
No.
Mr. Rounds?
No.
Mr. Tillis?
No.
Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? No. Mrs. Britt?
No.
Mr. Ricketts?
No.
Mr. Banks? No. Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Aye.
Oh,
Mr.
shut
Reed?
up, Liz.
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
Aye.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Warnock?
Aye.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to, so we will now move to Cortez Masto number 22.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me start off by saying, similar to some of my colleagues, thank you for working together. I think we have come so far on a number of provisions in a bipartisan way, and I appreciate that. I also want to continue working with my colleagues. Senator Lamas, you've been great to work with. Thank you. And I look forward to continuing to work with you to move forward. Let me just say a couple of things. I am concerned that right now the Clarity Act would make it more difficult for law enforcement to capture criminals who use DeFi to move their illicit proceeds. In response to the work that we have been doing together on the sections, including this amendment, I have received letters from law enforcement opposing portions like this of the Clarity Act. There's 2 letters from the National Association of Assistant U.S. Attorneys who do the prosecution of that illicit activity, 2 letters from the National District Attorneys Association, 2 letters from the National Sheriff's Association, a letter from the Fraternal Order of Police, and a letter from the major county sheriffs of America, International Association of Chiefs of Police, Association of State Criminal Investigative Agencies, and the National Association of Police Organizations. I'd actually submit these for the record. Thank you. And the reason why is my goal has been to find common ground, because I think we have agreed that a true non-controlling developer or software provider shouldn't be subject because they're not involved in any of this activity.
Thank
you. The concern that many of us have, including in law enforcement, was that the definition was too broad. And the bad guys are going to jump into that definition. And the bad guys we're talking about are the ones that I think Senator Kennedy, I'm sorry he's not here, was asking questions about. Those mixers and those tumblers. They are carved out of these sections. And so the goal would be to make sure that we are letting the good players still be able to innovate, those non-controlling developers, let them do their thing, but not taking away the tools from law enforcement to be able to prosecute those individuals that pose really kind of a public safety and national security threat. And I'm talking about folks like foreign states like South Korea and others. Excuse me, I was paying attention to the chairman. I'm trying to move very quickly now, but let me finish this. For North Korea, Iran, and others that are using this terrorist activity that unfortunately are opposed to what we are doing here in the United States, protecting our communities. So I support the crypto regulation. I voted for Genius last year. I'm ready to continue to work on this bill, but we need language to stop and punish those bad actors and give the prosecutors the tools they need to be able to do just that.
Rebuttal.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Moreno.
First of all, to my colleague from Nevada, thank you for your hard work on all this, and I think you're absolutely working in good faith to try to get to a resolution. I agree with the sentiment.
They're going through
of what you're
amendments
saying.
yet, so we don't know
But
if
this
it
amendment
passed.
would strike critical protections for non-controlling blockchain developers contained in Section 301. What makes this amendment particularly troubling is that Section 301 is specifically drafted to distinguish between so-called decentralized finance protocols that are decentralized in name only. We actually came up with a name that Republicans don't always love, being called rhinos. We call this one dinos. And protocols that are genuinely decentralized and not operated by centralized intermediaries behind the scenes. If this legislation already recognizes that distinction and applies appropriate regulatory standards to actors who retain control over a protocol, it makes little sense to simultaneously eliminate protections for developers of truly decentralized systems that lack a controlling intermediary. In practice, this amendment would introduce regulatory uncertainty. I could go on, but here's what I would say. What Senator Lummis said earlier. Let's work together to figure out a way to get a landing spot where you're comfortable, we support law enforcement, and we make certain that there's accountability in this. But for this amendment, I urge my colleagues to vote no.
Clerk will call the roll.
Chairman?
Nope.
Mr. Crabo? No. Mr. Rounds?
No.
Mr. Tillis? No. Mr. Kennedy?
No by proxy.
Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? No. Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No by proxy.
Ms. Warren?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen? Aye. Ms. Cortez Masto?
Smash the like, please.
Ms. Smith?
Subscribe if you're enjoying the stream.
Mr.
Thank
Warnock?
you, guys.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to. We will now move to call up Smith number 190.
Just so you guys know, they are voting on amendments to the bill, meaning some changes, and so none of them have passed yet. None of the changes, none of the amendments have passed.
Incorporate Senator Durbin's No Bailout for Crypto Act, which I joined him in introducing last year. We can all agree, I think, that crypto assets are incredibly volatile, and a single tweet can cause prices to fluctuate wildly. Bitcoin, for example, lost nearly a third of its value since hitting an all-time high just in October. Ethereum's value has more than halved since its peak, and these are just two of the most dominant assets in the crypto market. Nearly $2 trillion worth of crypto asset value was lost in the crypto crash of 2022. And I'm quite concerned, Mr. Chair, in its current form, that this bill that we're considering today all but ensures that the next crash is even bigger than that. So what this amendment does is simply to prohibit federal agencies from bailing out the digital asset industry,
Is she giving financial
preventing
advice?
U.S. taxpayers from being on the hook if that happens, when that happens. I want to just thank Senator Durbin for his leadership on this issue, and I urge my colleagues to support this amendment.
Senator Lummis for rebuttal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Clarity Act does not authorize a bailout of the digital asset industry. It creates rules for the digital asset markets. It doesn't create a rescue fund, a guarantee, or a taxpayer backstop. The amendment's unnecessary, and it distracts from the purpose of the bill. We should be focused on building a clear regulatory framework, not suggesting that this bill authorizes something it does not.
Mr. Chair. This amendment, I would just say, does not suggest. It only is a preventative measure. It protects the taxpayers from future decisions to bail out the crypto
Why don't they
industry.
protect the taxpayers from paying money to fund people like Liz Warren that get allegedly paid by the banks? I would love to know. I would love to freaking know.
Mr. Crapo? No. Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis? No. Mr. Kennedy?
Anytime they say I'm from the
Mr.
government
Haggerty?
and I'm here to help,
no.
you freaking run.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt?
No by proxy?
Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer? No. Mr. Moreno? No. Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen? Aye. Ms. Cortez Masto? Aye. Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Warnock? Aye. Mr. Kim? Aye. Mr. Gallego? Aye. Ms. Blunt Rochester? Aye. Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
Mr. Chairman, I asked to be recorded as present.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
a no.
I don't know.
Thank you. The amendment is not agreed to. We will now call up Warnock 121.
Mr. Chairman, I intend to call up Amendment Warnock 121. Thank you. My amendment further strengthens this bill's consumer and investor protections. We made great progress over the past several months of negotiation, and I would like to thank Senator Lummis and Chair Scott for working with me on compromise provisions to ensure all consumers and investors are protected from fraud in digital assets. I regret that those compromises are not fully reflected in the text of today's bill, but I'm hopeful that we can continue to work together on this, especially since the Ag Committee's partisan half of this bill is so weak on consumer protection, and frankly, it's a non-starter for Democrats on the floor. But I do want to echo what my colleague, Senator Van Hollen, and others have said. The president's self-dealing with digital assets is pure corruption, and everyone in this room knows that. Whether his dealings are illegal is a matter of legislation, and that's the work we're engaged in. But there's no doubt that this is pure corruption, and the majority has refused to agree to enforceable guardrails around all elected officials, all of us, including the president and the vice president, to prevent them from profiting from crypto while they're supposed to be serving the public. The public deserves to know that we're working for them and not for ourselves. And the president's insistence on being engaged in the way that he's engaged in this whole industry has cast a dark pall on the whole process. And so he should decide whether he wants to get this done or whether he wants to continue to enrich his family. Democrats have made it clear since the beginning of this process that we will not accept a crypto bill that allows the president's crypto corruption to continue. We all agree the digital assets industry needs regulatory clarity, but I cannot support this bill in its current form and will be voting no this morning. I look forward to continuing to work in a bipartisan manner with all of you on a bill that has strong ethical standards with strong consumer and investor protections, and it is in that
Ethics have
spirit of
nothing to
good
do
faith
with this bill.
compromise
This is a waste of
that
time.
I withdraw my amendment, and I will not seek a vote. Thank you, Mr. Chair or Reverend Dr. Chair. I withdraw my amendment.
Thank you, Senator Dr. Reverend. I will now call up Kim, number 24.
Thank you, Chairman. I believe in innovation in financial services, want to harness the opportunity of emerging technologies, and that's why I did support the Genius Act last year. And I believe that this innovation can be achieved while also working to stop cartels, state sponsors of terrorism, foreign terrorist organizations from exploiting the technology. I worked for years on countering terrorist financing before I came into Congress, and I saw how we can find these types of important balances. And I heard from industry leaders how they don't want their products and tools to be used by terrorist groups, and they don't also said that a one-size-fits-all regulation is not the answer. They also said that frameworks of the past may not be fully applicable to the emerging technologies of tomorrow. To those points, I agree, which is why I'm offering this amendment to modernize the Bank Secrecy Act by adding a new category of financial institutions that would allow us to go after cartels, state sponsors of terrorism, and foreign terrorist organizations that are trying to take advantage of the emerging technologies. At the same time, my amendment preserves innovation and growth for true DeFi, because I know that a one-size-fits-all framework does not work. I support DeFi technology, entrepreneurs, and developers, and I believe that innovation can grow without allowing terrorist resources to grow. So let's meet the moment with a common sense update to the BSA while continuing to encourage innovation in the industries here in the United States. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this amendment, and with that, I'll yield back.
Thank you. Senator Lemus.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This amendment's not needed because the bill in Title II already includes a section that accomplishes just what this amendment contemplates. It directs FinCEN and the CFTC to apply the Bank Secrecy Act to digital commodity brokers, dealers, and exchanges, and it does it in a very precise manner. So I encourage the proponent to check out Title II and also look at Titles 2 and 3 on money laundering and illicit finance. This bill, our bill, I think references the BSA 16 times, and if I counted correctly, and I don't think there's a single reference to BSA in the House-passed bill. So we're really tying BSA into our bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk will call the roll.
The chairman?
No.
Mr. Crapo?
No.
Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt?
No.
Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks?
No.
Mr. Kramer?
No.
Mr. Moreno?
No.
Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen? Aye. Ms. Cortez Masto? Aye. Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Warnock?
Aye.
Mr. Kim?
Aye.
Mr. Gallego?
Aye.
Ms. Blunt Rochester?
Aye.
Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
The amendment is not agreed to. We will now call up Gallego number 18.
Thank
Senator-
you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, ranking member, and thank you obviously for the whole markup. This has been, to say the least, a very long and difficult process. And it's been great, though, working with Senator Lummis, Senator Tillis. Okay time working with Moreno. To be honest. But we really have spent the better time of last year in countless meetings, long nights, and working through holidays. And really, at its best, the Senate learns together, finds common ground, and legislates. This is what this process demanded of us, and it's not an easy bill, as we all know, and it's exactly what we try to do. And after working on Genius Act, and we all remember that ordeal, we all learned that solving issues on the front end makes for better legislation. And we took that seriously here, and for very, very good reason. What Congress is attempting to do here is creating regulations for an entirely new sector of our financial system, and it is a massive undertaking. 67 million Americans own digital assets. We owe it to these people, many of whom are young and simply trying to achieve financial independence, to get this right. With 1 in 4 Americans now invested in digital assets, we cannot afford to wait, but we also cannot afford to get this wrong. And that's the balance we are trying to strike. Through serious bipartisan negotiations, we have made incredible progress on this bill. We have narrowed the gap on many of the outstanding issues. We did serious bipartisan work on generally difficult questions about regulatory jurisdiction, consumer disclosure requirements, crypto ATMs, and to name a few. I want to be clear that my vote here does not guarantee a vote on the floor. After today, we need to connect with our Agricultural Committee colleagues and collapse negotiations into one, and all sit at the table. And perhaps the toughest issue of all, we have come close, but have not finished, an agreement on ethics guardrail for elected officials, all elected officials. We need real enforceable standards for what it is and is not acceptable for someone who holds the public trust and shouldn't be able to profit off an industry that they enforce or regulate. But we will continue to work. I am looking forward to continue working. Mr. Tillis and Ranking Member Chairwoman Lummis and I have talked about this, how we're going to continue working. And I hope to see that we don't have any more backsliding and can move forward and hopefully finish this. So I withdraw my Gallego amendment number 18, and will in committee vote yes. But if this is not resolved by the time of the floor, like I have in the past, I am not afraid to vote no. Look forward to working together and hopefully come to a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will now move. Senator Also Brooks has decided to offer Senator Warren the space that she had for number 7. We will now hear from
so
Senator
generous.
Warren on amendment number 79. Senator Warren, you are now recognized.
Thank you. So the Trump administration has spent the past year trying every trick in the book to kill the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency that has returned more than $21 billion directly to consumers who've been cheated by banks and giant corporations. Acting Director Vogt has dropped virtually all of the consumer agency's ongoing enforcement actions against crooks and other bad actors. He's tried to lay off almost all of its staff, and he's tried to drain its funding. People have fought back, and a federal court has prevented Trump and Vogt from fully shutting down the agency. But at the same time that Congress is debating this bill, which would dramatically expand the risk of fraud in consumer and crypto markets, the administration is busy trying to fire the cops responsible for protecting consumers. Now remember, the CFPB is the agency responsible for fighting to cap abusive overdraft fees and late fees, to strike down medical debt from consumers' credit reports, to protect service members from being charged illegal interest rates on loans, to stop families from being put out on the street with an illegal foreclosure. The CFPB is going to be more important than ever if we pass a bill unleashing new crypto scams. My amendment would ensure that the CFPB receives a consistent funding stream that is insulated from the kinds of political games the Trump administration has been playing to undermine consumer financial protection in this country. I urge my colleagues to support Warren 79.
Senator Moreno
Send
for rebuttal.
Warren to zero.
This amendment should not be adopted for one simple reason. The CFPB's budget is clearly out of the scope of this bill. It's absolutely not germane. We voted on quite a few attempted congressional review acts yesterday, and those were all voted down, and I urge my
Please smash
colleagues
the
to
like.
do the same with
Please
this
hit the
amendment.
like and
May I
subscribe.
have my last 15 seconds that I didn't use?
Oh, God.
Sure.
And my 15 seconds are the CFPB was created right here in this committee because of fraud. If we are creating a new opportunity for expanded fraud, we need to make sure that the CFPB is fully funded.
The clerk will call the roll.
And I still have 3 seconds.
My goodness.
Chairman?
No.
Mr. Crapo? No. Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis? No. Mr. Kennedy? No. Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis? No. Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks? No. Mr. Kramer? No. Mr. Moreno? No. Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Aye. Sorry. I was
Mr. Reed?
dazzled by the chairman's comments. Yay by proxy. I'm still dazzled.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen? Aye. Ms. Cortez Masto?
Oh, aye by proxy?
Ms. Smith? Aye. Mr. Warnock?
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim? Aye. Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
I'm going to object if you change your rulings.
That's okay. Yeah.
I mean, oh, oops.
About an hour ago, I received a request from a couple of Democrat members to add 5 amendments to make this a bipartisan outcome, and I've decided to do so.
So, Mr. Chairman, I object here. You cut
please.
16 amendments from the members of this committee. We agreed, you said, nope, we got to our numbers and said, these are our numbers. And now, all of a sudden, you have decided to rule back in 3 amendments, I take it from Senator Lummis, that you originally ruled out because it will be more convenient because somebody gets a vote. You just said, as we started this, the rules are the rules, and that you're not going to pick and choose.
Well, the rules are you shouldn't be insider trading, but allegedly.
That you were going to apply the rules across the board. I came in here with one set of rules and understood that that was the case. So if you're now going to rule arbitrarily that you've picked 3 out of the basket to add back in, 3 Republican amendments to add back in, then I think you should rule that all of the amendments are back in. We'd like all of the Democratic amendments back in. And I am particularly looking at Cortez Masto, number 16. This is an amendment that was requested by the National Sheriff's Association.
Whoa, what happened to the audio?
That would make it, right
Weird.
now, the current bill makes it harder for law enforcement to go after cartels and criminals that are using decentralized platforms to launder money. Or how about we which Republicans are clearly afraid to vote on. So it seems to me, Mr. Chairman, following the rules you announced at the beginning, either we know all the amendments when we walk in and that's the end of it, or if you're going to start opening that up, let's open it up to everyone, not just 3 amendments on the Republican side.
Actually, the amendment that we just voted on, number 79, was not agreed to as well. We substituted it based on the request of Alsobrooks to allow you to have that amendment, and I did so. And as you said at the beginning of this hearing, that I have the right as the chairman to pick and choose which amendments we wanted. And based on a bipartisan, which I'm not choosing between Republicans and Democrats, I'm actually choosing for Republicans and Democrats to have these final amendments in order.
You know, with respect, Mr. Chairman, you didn't say to me that if Alsa Brooks wanted to yield her spot over for me to add another amendment, the consequence would be that Lummis would suddenly get 3 amendments that had been ruled that
Mr.
they
Chair.
would not be held and they would be out of order? I just don't understand this process.
This is a Wikipedia definition of no good deed goes unpunished. These were bipartisan bills. So, Mr. Chair, maybe instead of considering them here today with the ranking member's objections, can we just get an agreement that they'd be baked into a manager's amendment on the floor?
Yes.
No.
Good, okay.
I think,
Point of order, yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman,
Last
Yeah.
comment on the left, we'll go to closing remarks, yes.
I would actually prefer, because of the good faith that Senator Lummis has shown, and, you know, and I intend to work more on this bill, but I would hope this would move me much closer if these amendments are not put off till the floor. but are-
Then I clearly withdraw my comment.
Yeah, point of order.
This isn't a comedy show.
Mr.
Let's
Chair.
get the freaking
Just so I
vote
have
on, dude.
clarification.
Certainly.
Because if you had included my number 16, I wouldn't be asking this question. But now I'm trying to understand. Originally, 16 was not allowed because it was ineligible based on a Scrivener's error. So were these others. But now, at the chairman's call and discretion, those are going to be allowed in, but this one not because it's still a Scrivener's error? I'm confused.
Yeah,
why.
no,
Or is it just, and listen, I respect it, it's your call.
Yes.
If it's just that you want to let some in and some not, that's fine too. I respect that. I'm just trying to understand as we move forward.
Certainly, there's no doubt that this could be confusing to folks looking on. It's a simple, actual answer. We have an opportunity to do what I think is in America's best interest, is to show that when possible, both sides can find a path forward. And in my opinion, finding that path forward requires me to allow Lummis's amendments in, because that was a request of Democrat members in order to get to a bipartisan coalition and solution. And so yeah, I have made the decision that treating both sides fairly requires me to listen to both sides. And now that there are both sides coming to the table, both asking me to make a decision to allow amendments in, it's incumbent upon me to make the right decision. In my opinion, making the right decision is to allow these amendments in. So we can either do it the way that Tillis has recommended, or we can do it the way that Warner recommended, but at the end of the day.
But let me suggest, obviously, the Democrats have not agreed to this. There may be a Democrat, there may be 3 Democrats who've agreed to
Yes.
this. But the Democrats have not agreed to this. Let me ask the question the other way around, because I know
Certainly.
you always want to be fair.
Yes.
You guys have the majority. You voted out every single thing that the Democrats have tried to put in. What is the harm to letting us vote 2 more amendments that we wanted to vote, one that is supported by law enforcement, and one that is supported by community banks? We're not here to try to make this a longer process. You still have all the votes. You can keep them out. But we'd at least like to have an opportunity to vote on these 2 amendments. And then, still an unusual process, but I would call it, you are trying to be fair here. Otherwise, you've just said, I'm going to pick the people who I think are going to put together the deal that is the deal you like. It's not the deal I like. And so either we get the same kind of parity, we get the same kind of courtesy afforded each other. We're just asking for 2 amendments. You're getting 3 here. And
Excellent.
let us vote
Bro,
on those
you
2.
haven't shut
I don't know
up.
what the harm is of voting. You guys, we get it. You'll probably vote no. But you ought to at least have to hear it.
Actually, I think it's 4 or 5 amendments. But
I'm only asking
Imagine
2.
being
I
married to
understand.
her. Imagine being married to
I
Liz
think
Warren. That's why
the
she's not
answer
married.
is a simple one again. About 11:05, we informed your team that there was a bipartisan coalition asking for more amendments that I had taken out. I decided to listen to the bipartisan conversation and come to the conclusion that it was worth moving on. And that is what I'm going to do. And with Senator Warner and other members of your side reinforcing my point, I think the best thing to do is to accept those amendments, hear them, and hear the rebuttals.
I just want to say I'm deeply concerned that law enforcement officials will listen to this and wonder why their point of view couldn't be heard. That community banks will listen to this and wonder why their point of view just couldn't be heard. That's all anyone's asking for. It's 2 minutes.
I wish I was heard about your insider trading and you should be investigated,
and
allegedly.
But we came in here, lived with the fact that you said, sorry, can't do those, but part of your statement was, and sorry, there are Republican things we can't do as well. So the Democratic position, look, our position should be, it's all of them, but we're willing, I'm just going to say on behalf of my colleagues here, we're willing to settle just for these two.
And now I'll call up Lummis number 122.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would request a voice vote as opposed to a roll call vote on this. Okay. Mr. Chairman, I call up my amendment 122 and ask that page 4, lines 1 and 2 be stricken, and I urge its adoption. These are changes to clarify the circumstances in which a DeFi protocol is decentralized in name only and is actually controlled by a small group of persons. And I want to thank Senator Warner for working with me on this.
Rebuttal?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Why are they asking her
Look,
to freaking
this
speak
amendment
more?
makes some technical fixes to Section 301 of the bill. It's hard to fix something that's fundamentally broken. Section 301 sets a narrow test for what counts as a crypto intermediary that few will ever meet. It also incorporates Section 604, the same loophole that shields decentralized services from basic anti-money laundering rules, as law enforcement experts have stressed. It doesn't matter if you have rules if nobody has to follow them. The amendment doesn't fix any of those issues, and I urge all my colleagues to oppose this amendment.
I move to strike pages 4, lines 1 and 2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I call for a roll call vote.
Had a feeling.
She doesn't even know what she's voting for anymore. She freaking made a mistake twice when she voted. She needs to stop.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Aye.
Mr. Tillis? Aye. Mr. Kennedy? Aye. Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis?
Aye.
Mrs. Britt? Aye. Mr. Ricketts? Aye. Mr. Banks? Aye. Mr. Kramer? Aye. Mr. Moreno? Aye. Mr. McCormick? Aye. Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
Yes, by proxy.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 18 in favor and 6 opposed.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask just one parliamentary inquiry? Because I am confused on the process. I understand there were some amendments that were disqualified because of Scrivener's error, and Senator Lummis had some of those, and some of our colleagues had some of those. And I understand the desire to put those back into the mix and have votes. I had amendments that were drawn properly, that were not disqualified at all, including one on anti-touting, Van Hollen 34, and Van Hollen 29 on fair disclosure of information. Those were written exactly right. And so now we're having votes on amendments that you originally declared had not been correctly drafted, and not allowing me and maybe some others to actually vote on amendments that were in order and properly drafted. How does that make sense?
During the Genius Act, we made, we came to a compromise on the number of amendments that we were going to have. It was around 40. I can't remember exactly the number that we had, but ultimately When the ranking member's side asked for how many amendments we were going to have, I chose the number that we were going to have. I gave our side 5. I gave you all 15. Ranking member chose to work with us to figure out the 15 that you all would have, and ultimately, that's how we got here.
I will just say in conclusion, Mr. Chairman, I believe it's unprecedented to kind of cap the number of in-order amendments.
Actually not.
At this kind of level.
It's not unprecedented, number one. Number two, every time we do a vote of Rama, we compromise on the number of amendments that we have. When we did Genius Act, we compromised on the number of amendments we have, and we're doing it again. The clerk will now call the roll on the 18 to 6 it was. What was it?
The last one, 18 to 6.
The lines have been stricken. We will now move to the amendment itself, Lummis number 122.
The chairman?
As modified? As modified?
Yes.
Please call the roll.
The chairman?
Aye.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Aye.
Mr. Tillis?
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis? Mrs. Britt? Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer? Mr. Moreno? Mr. McCormick? Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 18 in favor and 6 opposed. The amendment as modified is agreed to. We now call up Lummis number 123. Senator Lummis, you are now recognized. Microphone. Thank you, ma'am.
Asking for a voice vote on 123. Mr. Chairman, Amendment 123 makes bipartisan changes with respect to activities that are permissible for banks and credit unions to engage in digital asset activities. These changes include clarifying the trading activities that banks can do and extending applicability to insured credit unions. I urge adoption and yield back.
Senator Warren is
Thank you guys for the
recognized
bless yous.
rebuttal.
I did sneeze. I know
This
a lot of you guys
amendment
caught that.
makes some
Thank you.
modest improvements to Section 401.
muted myself
part of
for
the
that.
bill that drastically expands the crypto-related activities that taxpayer-insured banks are permitted to engage in. Wow. But this one falls far short. Under this amendment, banks would be able to transact in decentralized finance, lend against crypto as collateral, own crypto directly, trade crypto derivatives, and more. What could possibly go wrong? Why are Republicans trying to divert Americans' deposits away from small business lending and mortgage lending? This just makes no
Because
sense.
people do not
If
fund the
bill
banks.
passes,
They
even with
should
this
not fund the
amendment,
banks.
The next
Liz?
crypto crash could bring down the banks as well and bring down the entire economy.
No,
Let's
the
strike
banks
this
are
section instead of
insolvent,
trying to tweak it
Liz.
along the edges and pretend that that fixes this problem. I urge my colleagues to vote no on Loomis 123.
How? The banks are failing because of their own misguided stuff.
Yes.
They have no regard for
Mr.
AML. They pay billions of dollars of fines
Mr.
because they
Rounds?
don't abide by regulations to
Tillis?
begin with. So
Mr.
audit
Kennedy?
the banking system, audit Liz Warren, and then tell me
Mr.
about
Haggerty?
crypto.
Haggerty's aye.
Freaking liar. Straight up
Lummis?
lies.
Mrs. Britt? Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks?
Guys, if you want this live stream to
Kramer?
continue, I do ask for 600
Moreno?
likes and smash the like, subscribe,
McCormick?
guys. We're trying to get 26,000
Ms. Warren?
subscribers. There's so many
No.
of you here, we could get there.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
I by proxy.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester? Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 19 in favor and 5 opposed.
I now call up, the amendment is agreed to. I now call up Lummis 124.
Mr. Chairman, Amendment 124 changes an or, strikes an or and adds an and to Section 505 to ensure that the SEC properly carries out a rulemaking for the protection of investors and the benefit of our financial markets. I thank my Democrat colleagues for bringing this amendment to my attention, and I urge everyone to support it.
Senator Warren for a rebuttal.
Look, the problem of tokenization is one of the biggest problems with this bill. And the fix that this amendment proposes in Section 505 gives the idea of a fig leaf a bad name. It is so inadequate. This amendment, through a minor improvement on that section, does not do nearly enough to protect our system
Wow,
from the harm
69
of this bill.
Canadian. Thank you
As
so
I've
much.
said
I
before,
appreciate
the
that.
bill
That's really sweet of
creates a
you.
system
I'm very
of
happy you're
easy
here.
regulation for crypto and easy ways out of securities regulation to this new easy street for crypto. And then to stop the inevitable flow of capital from our traditional markets into crypto that this incentive system will cause, Section 505 ostensibly imposes a requirement of regulatory parity between securities and tokenized securities. It would be one thing if the bill left it at that, but it goes on to weaken that already anemic fix by providing that the SEC actually can treat securities like assets differently in light of the unique technological characteristics of crypto or consistent with the public interest and protecting investors. While the amendment would instead require the SEC to base its exceptions on the unique characteristics of crypto and whether or not it is in the interest of the public and investors, it does nothing to change the fact that this exception to the requirement of regulatory parity threatens to swallow the entire rule. I urge my colleagues to oppose it.
Clerk will call the roll. Yes.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Aye.
Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis?
Aye.
Mrs. Britt?
Aye.
Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer? Mr. Moreno? Mr. McCormick? Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Ms. Smith? Mr. Warnock?
I by proxy.
Mr. Kim? Mr. Gallego? Ms. Blunt Rochester?
No.
Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 18 in favor and 11 opposed, or 6 opposed.
The amendment is agreed to. We now go to Lummis 125. Senator Lummis, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I urge adoption of amendment number 125. This amendment adds a bipartisan provision to address insider trading for ancillary assets. And I want to thank my colleagues on this committee for the work we all did together to come to an agreement on this amendment. I'm proud of all of us, and I urge support.
Senator Warren for rebuttal.
Well, at face value, this amendment applies existing security laws prohibiting insider trading to crypto assets, and that's a goal I would wholeheartedly support if it were even close to enough to address the issue. But this amendment attempts to use a wine cork to plug a school bus-sized hole.
Are you
that is
freaking kidding me?
created
What is
in
that
our
analogy?
securities laws by this bill. Look, at its core, the bill provides easier rules for crypto and easy ways for them to escape securities regulation and get to this more lax regulatory environment. Issuers of securities only have to put securities on the blockchain and then self-certify that securities laws don't apply and the rules start to fall away. So while the amendment calls for ancillary assets to be covered by insider trading prohibitions, it does absolutely nothing to address the fact
What about your
that
insider
the bill
trading, you
has
damn
created
fool?
so many routes for instruments that share all the features of securities not to be considered ancillary assets at all, and therefore to be totally exempt from the securities laws, including the ones addressed by this amendment. So, while I support stamping out insider trading in all its forms, this fix is far from adequate to address the issue, and it gives the public a false sense of security that somehow they're going to be safe from insider trading.
So crazy how
in
she's like,
crypto,
oh, this doesn't
because
protect
they
people from
will
insider
not
trading
be
when
safe.
she's
The
literally allegedly
insiders
doing
are
that.
going to run the game.
Wow.
So I urge my colleagues to vote no.
How?
Clerk will call the
How
roll.
did she say this? How is she not fired? She's so corrupt.
Yes.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Aye.
Mr. Tillis? Aye. Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis?
Aye.
Mrs. Britt?
Aye.
Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer?
Guys, Cynthia
Mr.
Lummis
Moreno?
just retweeted us. Cynthia
Mr.
Lummis
McCormick?
just retweeted us.
Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Aye. Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim?
Guys, Cynthia
Gallego?
Lummis retweeted us. Look at us on Cynthia Lummis's official
Ms.
page.
Blunt Rochester?
I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Ms. Alsobrooks?
This is her.
Aye.
The vote is 18 in favor and 6 opposed.
The amendment is agreed to. I now call up Lummis 126. Senator Lummis, you are now recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I move amendment number 126 and encourage its adoption. The purpose is to provide investor and consumer protection enforcement. This is bipartisan to provide for a system of regulation of the offer and sale of digital commodities by the SEC and CFTC. And I encourage and I thank again my colleagues for working on this on a bipartisan basis and urge its adoption.
Ranking Member Warren is recognized for rebuttal.
So I think we should call this one Fig Leaf number 9. This amendment claims to restore state-level consumer and investor protections and the ability of harmed investors to sue, but it is so riddled with exceptions and caveats and loopholes that it's pretty much meaningless. Now, to be clear, one of the bill's most serious, fatal flaws is that it guts state enforcement authority, a point that Senator Cortez Masto has made over and over. And I offered an amendment that comprehensively protected all those authorities, but that amendment was blocked by the chair. I offered it because for decades, state securities regulators have acted as frontline cops on the beat in all 50 states, rooting out fraud and scams in markets, particularly in those that affect individuals or small dollar amounts that may not get priority from federal law enforcement. This provides a critical additional layer of enforcement capacity on top of federal watchdogs like the SEC to make sure that every individual who is harmed has a chance of being made whole and that the wrongdoers are held accountable. As the crypto industry has grown, so have the scams. As Donald Trump's federal regulators abdicate any responsibility for holding crypto criminals accountable, these state-level cops are the law-abiding American people's only line of defense. This bill already guts the SEC's ability to protect investors from the worst instances of fraud, insider trading, and market manipulation. But it also tramples on states' rights, blocking state authorities from enforcing many of their own laws, including those that fight fraud and illegal conduct in these markets. Eliminating these protections and remedies that consumers have already under state law will leave crypto holding consumers sitting ducks for fraud and far worse off than they would be without any crypto market structure bill at all. If this amendment actually did something, I would support it. but it actually does nothing, only fool people to pretend it's doing something. I urge a no vote.
Clerk will call the roll.
The chairman?
Aye.
Mr. Crapo?
Aye.
Mr. Rounds?
Aye.
Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's aye.
Ms. Lummis? Mrs. Britt? Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer? Mr. Moreno? Mr. McCormick? Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Mr. Van Hollen? No. Ms. Cortez Masto? Aye. Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim? No. Mr. Geigo?
Aye.
Ms. Blunt Rochester?
No.
Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 18 in favor and 6 opposed.
The amendment is agreed to. There are no further amendments. The
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I would like to actually offer Reed Smith 95. I know that this amendment has been
out of
ruled
order?
out of order.
Out of order. There are no further amendments. The question is now on ordering the bill, H.R. 3633, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025, reported as amended.
Oh,
The
wait,
clerk
I
will
think
call
we're
the
getting the
roll.
vote.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President.
The clerk will call the roll.
The chairman?
Aye.
Mr. Crapo? Aye. Mr.
Smash
Rounds?
the like, everyone, please.
Mr. Tillis? Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Haggerty?
Aye.
Ms. Lummis? Mrs. Britt? Mr. Ricketts? Mr. Banks? Mr. Kramer? Mr. Moreno? Mr. McCormick?
Aye.
Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Reed?
No.
Mr. Warner?
No.
Mr. Van Hollen?
No.
Ms. Cortez Masto?
No.
Ms. Smith?
No.
Mr. Warnock?
No by proxy.
Mr. Kim?
No.
Mr. Geigo? Ms. Blunt Rochester?
No.
Ms. Also Brooks?
Aye.
The vote is 15 in favor and 9 opposed.
The ayes have it. H.R. 3633 is hereby ordered reported as amended to the full Senate. I ask unanimous consent that the staff
Oh,
be allowed
boy.
to make technical and
Seems like we're
conforming
moving ahead.
changes and that the cordon rule be waived. Any objection?
All right, it's
Hearing no
passed.
objection, so ordered. Is there any member who would like to give a statement?
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Senator Moreno?
First of all, I want to thank all my colleagues for their hard work on this. I think there's still some work to be done. Section 301 specifically, I think we need to work on to make that even better. But specifically, I just want to call out my 2 staffers, Sophia and Lindsay, for the hard work that they put in. And I'm sure all of you have Sophia's and Lindsay that I think we need to give them a unanimous round of applause for their hard work.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Senator Also Brooks?
I'd like to say a few words on the bill. The digital revolution is upon us, and it has presented a clear opportunity to support small businesses, generate wealth, and I believe spur innovation. And the truth is, this digital revolution is happening with us or without us. Whether or not we regulate it to create the rules of the road or not, it is here. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and she and her peers have made it abundantly clear to me that they are interested in this innovation, that they believe that the digital revolution is important, and they want not only to be able to participate in it safely, but they want what every American wants: true and growing economic opportunity, the opportunity to become wealthy, to have generational wealth. And so that is why I am at the table. I've been in negotiations for over 9 months, working toward regulating digital assets in a way that protects consumers and reduces the risk of deposit flight while still allowing innovation to happen. I have negotiated in good faith with colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and I want to thank them so much for all of their hard work. And in recognition of that good faith, I have voted yes to advance the bill today. Now, I want to be abundantly clear. My vote today is a vote to keep working in good faith. It does not mean that I'll be voting for the passage of the Clarity Act on the floor, because we still have so much work to do. I'm aware that we need to find a workable way to address law enforcement's concerns about financial crimes. I'm a former prosecutor, and I know how important this is. We also need to incorporate an ethics agreement that would apply not only to the president and vice president, but to all of us. The American
Guys,
people,
Clarity has
especially
passed
my
this
constituents,
mark
expect
up
that from us. And we need to work with our colleagues on the Agriculture Committee on their product, which still needs work. I'll keep working with my colleagues to get this done. Americans from every background and every community deserve to benefit financially from this digital revolution and to be protected from the risks that come with it. If we don't act, we'll get left behind. And I simply will not let that happen.
Very true. She's speaking facts. She's speaking facts.
Or Senator Britt, and then Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ladies first. Senator Haggerty, please continue.
Okay.
Then ladies first. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you. This bill creates a market structure framework for digital assets. It's going to supercharge innovation here in America. We've been long awaiting this. Less than a year ago, this committee advanced the Genius Act, and it has promoted a tremendous world-leading regulatory framework for stablecoins. The act that we're going to pass today promises to do the same thing for all digital assets. And I want to thank you, Chairman Scott, for your leadership and for your commitment to me to work on technical fixes to the Genius Act that we have bipartisan agreement on. And I want to thank Senator Alsobrooks, Senator Warner, and Senator Marino for working with me on this bipartisan fix, and look forward to getting that implemented in the next iteration of this bill. Thank you.
Senator Britt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your leadership on this and everyone who took so much time and energy to help get this where it is today, in particular, Senator Lummis. You have.
All right, guys, it has been a delightful 3 hours that we've been live. Sorry, my eyebrows are crazy right now. Even my eyebrows are whacked out. So overall, there was a vote. Did you guys see the light flicker? Was that just me? Anyways, so we did have the Clarity Act getting voted on for this markup vote. This isn't the official vote. There were amendments that they were putting in, trying to add and take out a few things. And so ultimately, I don't think any of the amendments passed through. And Liz Warren is actively anti-America, anti-retail, and anti-ethics. And it's very obvious that that's the case. So now we have to go to the Senate. It's going to go to the Senate floor, and it will be voted on again, being that they have gone through these amendments. So Clarity, again, has passed this markup vote. There's just a few more steps to go, but this was one of the major hurdles. We have live streamed it from start to finish. They're just putting a little bit of a last closing statements in there that don't really matter, and I wanted to pause it before I saw Liz Warren's face again. So guys, thank you so much for being here. There were over 1,000 people here today. I just want to say thank you very much for stopping by, and we are live Monday through Friday at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. We cover daily crypto news. We go into charts and we give you everything you need to know, plus some education. If you have not yet, check out my sponsors here. We have Cake Wallet, Market Cipher. Use code ZESTY for 15% off of Market Cipher. And then we have Uphold, guys. Sign up for Uphold, uphold.com/Randy. You could go ahead and get some XRP rewards and just have a main home base exchange. And Uphold is a great exchange to be on. So thank you guys so much. Please go ahead and become a member of this channel. You could go ahead and support us by hitting that $ in the YouTube chat and selecting whatever tier tickles your fancy. You will get emojis and access to Discord members only after show. So after these live streams conclude on Wednesdays and Fridays, we go into the Discord and I do an exclusive Q&A with my members. So thank you guys so much. I am blessed to be here and share this with you. Thank you for spending this time with me. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, please smash the like, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get 30,000 subscribers, guys. And as you can see, we gained hundreds of subscribers today. Bitcoin is pumping. If you guys want to take a look at the chart, we are attempting to test this 200-day simple moving average, guys. This is important. The 200-day SMA is right above us. If we test and reject it, it could be a problem. And we could see down to that 76K again. But if we pass it, my hope is to go right up to 93, 94K. Again, these are bullish and bearish scenarios. Never will I give you financial advice. I'm just here to give you love and to hopefully make you giggle and wiggle every once in a while. So thank you guys so much. Next week, again, I will be on Fox News. So if you guys have not started following me yet, if you're just new to this community, my name is Randi Hipper. I've been doing this for over 6 years, podcasting, streaming, creating content around Bitcoin and cryptocurrency since I was 17. I'm now 23 years old. I'm an evangelist for this space, and I love Bitcoin. I love crypto, and I love where this is going. I think there are a lot of beautiful opportunities for people to change the world via crypto. This is the most peaceful revolution in history, and I want you to join the fight with me. Revolutions are not easy. They are hard, but we are going to continue to fight for what's right, and that is freedom, that is truth, and that is honesty. And that's why people do not, and like Liz Warren, do not like crypto, because if we see where the money goes, we see how corrupt they are. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you have not yet, again, please smash the like, subscribe, share this out with friends. I'm going to put out a short for you guys in a little bit. We need 20 more likes for 700. That would make me very happy. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow, again, at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day. Smash the like, subscribe, share it out with friends, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay blessed. All the love to every single one of you guys. Mwah. Bye.